Jesus, it has been a while.
I had to teach a class on filing your taxes. It's a 12-slide PowerPoint with 50 pages of notes. It's the craziest thing I've ever done.
Terrible.
That is quite wild.
1040 is insane.
Tell people to go to TurboTax.
Open
close.
Wasn't allowed to do that. That would have been my one-page slide TurboTax.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I use Free Tax USA.
You should.
Yeah.
TurboTax is
You don't
horrible.
download anything.
If you go to the IRS website, there's multiple free filing options.
Yeah, and they all fucking suck. Wire tax is so complicated, dude.
Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes exist. I mean,
the taxes exist.
I mean, I know why, but like, they don't have to, you know.
Oh, why do we file our own taxes? Is a better question.
Yeah.
You really need to figure yourself out.
Because TurboTax. Right.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the just TurboTax, Intuit have lobbied to keep the IRS from doing our taxes for us.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have all the information.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We love it here. Great country.
We do. We do, guys.
I'm in the USA.
And we're staying for the long haul. So.
Every single one of us. Don't.
Every single one of us, for sure.
Yep. In all reality, everyone here is welcome to join in Project 2028. So.
Dubious title, but kind of close to a different project, but it's not as good.
That's why I like it. So, where we last left off, your group essentially broke from the Ledgermen and found yourself joining a group connected to Marion called the Shattered Covenant, which seems to be this ragtag group of insurrectionists who are fighting the good fight against the FETC, or the Sacred Machine. They have a variety of leaders with diverse backgrounds who have all come together in a unified goal to fight the FETC. You got a chance to familiarize yourself with the Sanctuary, which you learned was an arcanely created demiplane that you were told was safe from invaders and prying eyes and that sort of thing. So as we begin, we are actually going to come back after quite a long in-game break. So this is no pressure whatsoever for anyone that did not get my text to the group, but we're going to start after a few months of some downtime. So a little bit loosey-goosey, and it is totally reasonable to use this time as just a bit of R&R is okay, as me and James talked about before. So if anyone, we were talking about Ronald Reagan. If anyone would like to,
I forgot. That's a good
if anyone would like to go first, if anyone had anything, some suggestions that I kind of threw out there were, you could kind of undertake like a personal quest in this time. You could attempt to research a topic or participate in some kind of craft, or work on any like relationships with players, NPCs, that sort of thing. and it's very loosey goosey. And there may be some, in-game bonuses for things like that. So, did anybody have anything to start us off? Or am I gonna have to start calling names?
I do, but I don't want to go first because I always feel like I talk too much in these games. I don't want to hog
You
the.
don't.
Just go,
All right.
James.
Yeah, you there in the back, James. What is Charles doing at this time?
Charles Brand is going to first things first, bust out that table for his gun,
From the top row.
and he's gonna put his, malice on there like normal, and then he's gonna take his military issue sidearm. Why did I just roll dice? The Mark 1 Enforcer, and he's gonna put that on the table to see if it does anything, because he's trying to figure out how to upgrade this gun, and he doesn't know.
Okay. Give me.
Shit, my dicers.
I'm presuming you are not proficient in Arcana.
No.
All right, give me just a straight intelligence roll. And I'm assuming this is like a prolonged research.
This is what he's doing every night.
Okay.
After-
Yeah, give me a basic intelligence roll. We're gonna say this is for the first month. There will be 3 months for you to attempt things.
Oh, intelligence? Fucking shit. Oh, that's actually not bad. 17.
Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and keep the straight roll,
Okay.
but I want you to tell me what type of skill you are using. An obvious one would be like an Arcana check, just to like try to like understand the workings of this obviously magical device. But I'll actually leave it up to you. Is there any other way that Charles would be approaching this?
Well, Charles does have, like, smithing and weapon creating skills. So maybe, I don't know. I do like the Arcana check first to see if you can even, like, I want to know. I guess the Arcana check was to see if I could use this non-magical thing to upgrade the gun, or if I need something magical.
Mm.
I guess would be the first. That's the first check as Arcana goes.
Okay. So you said 17?
Correct.
Okay. So you get the sense as you, I'm going to assume over the course of the month that you're also kind of employing, like getting the opinions of some of the more like, magically literate people within the sanctuary, your party, as well as maybe like tinkering around with some other substrates. And the general consensus that you're getting is that whatever is supposed to happen, this is not a matter of like weaponsmithing or like tools. It's you are missing the substrate. So like your standard issue firearm is not going to cut it. There seems to be like a very specific criteria for what this weapon wishes to consume.
Okay. Then I'm gonna redirect my focus. That changes everything. I would like to see if I could speak with Mazrin about some things.
Okay.
Sorry.
I am wondering if there's a way you could help me unlock my memories.
This is something I have not dabbled in before, but we could give it a go. You just have to let me deep into the dark depths of your brain, if you're cool with that.
I wouldn't have asked if I wasn't.
All right. Do you want to do it like right now?
If you're not busy,
Yeah, I got some time. Okay, well, let's light some candles and start with some deep breathing, and you just sit still and try your best to get where you're wanting me to go. And I'll see if I can connect and go all the way there.
okay?
Okay, Mazarin is going to attempt to plunge into the depths of Charles Brand's mind, something she's never attempted before. And presumably, DM, you're gonna make me roll for something.
Uh, I'm kind of going to. So first off, the ability to the ability to like alter someone's memories is something that is extremely. You would go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay, and just to clarify, we're not trying to alter his memories. We're just trying to tap into the subconscious.
Well,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay,
Part
at least that was my understanding. Okay, so what am I rolling? Arcana?
Mhm.
A Arcana. A 19.
So you're correct. This it would not be really altering someone's memories, but you are not like a healer. So you are approaching this the same way that like a brain surgeon would approach like a patient with a psychiatric problem. So like
good metaphor.
you basically know how to cut and alter, and to do it in like a permanent way is something that is like a technique within the sixth house, usually done more through magical means and not something that you have learned the ability to do yet. Something like this, you gather, is very doable. But I need you, Jessica, to try to tell me, like, how, if there's any one of your abilities that you would lean on to try to bend to get this done. Like you tell me how you would try to go about doing this.
Hmm.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot like this.
That's totally fine. Bear with me.
And if I recall, you guys also recently have leveled up.
Are we level 7?
Mm-hmm. And I don't.
Okay, yeah. I did.
So just okay. Did you? And you always have like new spells and stuff that is super weird because.
I have new spells. What spells do I have?
Oh, shouldn't you have access to 4th level spells?
I do. But these are all like attack spells, so I'm not trying to like destroy his brain.
I'd prefer that.
Like I said, Your skill set is your skill set.
Well, I was going to kind of lean into the telepathic, but kind of search for something other than what is at the surface level, like what I would normally do, and just sort of concentrate and see if I could find some passing thoughts that I could pull a thread on.
That's very, very doable. Or very attemptable, rather. So go ahead
Okay.
and give me a, I mean, we'll call this like a psionic check. This is essentially like an arcana check again.
Okay. Let's do better than last time. Ooh, 27.
Nice.
Okay. So, as you start, you're essentially like going into the mind of Charles Brand, like with his consent this time. And essentially, you're like a mental cartographer, where you're essentially just like kind of gently like feeling the walls around you, and you're beginning, the mental blocks that have been put there are beginning to take shape. And with like that very first wall, we'll say that you are able to very gently push through that. I'm going to say, Charles, you are immediately, first off, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw against Mazarin's DC.
Wonderful. My best skill, intelligence. That's literally a 3 minus 2.
Okay. So you take 12 points of psychic damage.
Oh, I'll take it for sure.
And I need you to mark off a hit dice.
God, motherfuck.
And you are flooded with a series of memories. You, before your time in the army, you were a weaponsmith. You and your parents ran a quite successful shop in Centralis. And you hear the voice of your father, you see the face of your mother, a face that you, up until now, had completely just been like obliterated from your mind. And you recall traveling through the Embermaw and befriending some of these shamans within like the some satellite Ashborn tribes, learning how to navigate this wasteland and sharing knowledge, sharing friendship, and ultimately meeting the love of your life, Samira, and being married by their traditions. That is where, once again, everything kind of just is blocked just beyond that. So everything before and after that little chunk that you just got is gone. Now, Mazarin, what you're doing right now, you're getting the sense that this is risky. Because like the things that you're cutting cannot necessarily be stitched back together. And if you cut the wrong wire, there could potentially be something devastating and permanent. So do you want to keep pushing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So go ahead and make another Arcana check.
Mazarin, boundaries are not her strong suit, let's just say that. That is a 23.
Okay. Mazarin, as you are again just mentally mapping out what you're seeing here, there are layers and layers and layers upon what has been done to Charles. Where essentially it's as though someone just like completely buried his consciousness and then poured like just sheets of concrete over it. You hammer through another layer. Charles, I need you to make another intelligence saving throw against Mazarin's DC.
Ooh. 17.
That it's a 16. So that does
Success.
it.
What'd you say?
That works.
Cool.
So Charles, you only take 5 points of psychic damage, and you retain your hit dice. At this point, you recall being completely inducted within the Ashbourne clan.
Is this post being married or pre being married?
This is kind of as part of your marriage. You were essentially like adopted as a son of the Ashbourne and considered to be one of their own.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the activities that you did involved like subverting and evading like FETC like dictates that would kind of like try to like marginalize that group. So you're essentially like a bit of a spy for the Ashbourne people. So there was a lot of interest in the large volcano at the center of Embermaw, which is kind of like the centerpiece of the Ashbourne religion.
Mm-hmm.
So there were constant issues with like Steel Covenant sweeps going through the area and essentially like displacing Ashbourne people, trying to like brave the wilds themselves and set up bastions out there, which always failed, but it would still like they would still go through and sweep through villages and essentially like murder and kind of like leave people for dead. So the Ashbourne have essentially become like a nomadic tribe, which you would just like feed them information as you would get it and use whatever connections you could through your weapons manufacturing, which one of your big customers was the Steel Covenant, to try to warn the Ashbourne ahead of time. And in doing so, also allowed them information that sometimes would create somewhat of a resistance. And you would sometimes find yourself in firefights, like ambushing Steel Covenant scouts so that you could prevent them from getting information as to like the movements of the Ashbourne. And you and your wife, and you recall your wife was like extremely active in these, like very much was an outspoken member of like the Veyari, bordering on like almost on like adopting some of the philosophies of like their northern brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can I get her name one more time?
Samira.
Going phonetic.
So, Mazarin. Are you going to keep pushing?
Is Charles like conscious?
Yeah, I would say so.
Charles is gonna put a hand up.
To stop?
Yeah, and Charles is crying, and he leaves your room. He doesn't say anything.
Okay.
I would say, as part of this, Mazarin, you would get flashes of essentially like what was just described in a way that it almost felt like you were living it too.
Mm.
So you kind of see this like man that has been his like, again, you don't know what happened in between, but like he was essentially just mind wiped and turned into like the very thing he was fighting against. So with that, James, I'm going to give you one more downtime activity, but I'm going to move on to someone else for now, and we'll save that third month for last. So we'll go with 2 activities for each person. Would anyone else have anything?
I'll go. Mazarin is going to spend this downtime trying to find out more about her mother's clan and making contact if possible.
Okay. And how might you be going about this?
I guess just for starters, like asking around and trying to get a location and just kind of going on like scouting missions, you know, and slowly approaching.
Okay. Would you be going on these scouting missions alone?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. So this is like, I would call this like a personal quest. So this is pretty in depth. So this is going to be taking you a while.
Yeah.
So for this first, we'll say this is kind of in like the first month or so. Go ahead and give me unless you have a different idea. Let's start with an investigation check on what you can get.
Ooh, 14.
So there are essentially, you know that there are like multiple druidic orders that are within the Green Vale. You get this you do find like little like snippets of lore that reference the land of Mordan before like the kind of quasi-industrialization by the FETC. And there is a mention of kind of almost like a demigod-like being known as the Green Warden. And kind of spoken about almost in a way that's similar to some of the lore that you uncovered in the Embermaw, with like figures similar, like that were kind of important to their religion. But there hasn't really been anyone who's either cared or just like managed to go out and catalog information regarding the specific like druidic orders. You do know that there are druids within the Green Vale that are very wary of any interactions with like quote unquote civilized people.
Okay, well then I guess she's got somewhat of a geographical area to explore. And knowing this perception of outsiders, she's going to approach cautiously and try to further disguise any remnant of, I guess, like, I mean, she already did the outfit change and try to lean into the druid part of her own um self, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival. I'll give you over the course of this month. Go ahead and take a survival check at advantage.
How's about a nature check?
Sure. Yeah.
At advantage?
Yeah.
That is a 19.
Okay. Spending the next month very carefully, kind of making treks into the Green Vale, you do not identify any evidence that there is like any humanoid, druidic, or other activity in the area. And you really feel like you would have expected to see some by now. So either perhaps they've been completely displaced, perhaps the lore that was indicated is just completely wrong, or perhaps there's something about this order or these orders where they specifically do not want to be found, and you'll just have to try harder or find another way. I will say, as you spend a month getting to become more familiar with, like wilderness and surviving in that environment, as I'm, presuming that like you're not going back and forth every day because you wouldn't get much done at all. I am going to add to your character sheet a half proficiency in survival.
Nice.
So at some point, if you reload your character sheet, you will see that, and you feel a little bit more confident in survival and wilderness situations, but no information regarding your mother. So that's your first month down. What do you wish to do for your second month?
I think Mazern is mainly just interested in uncovering, like, she's not satisfied. So whether it's researching more or trying to find people that would be connected, or just spending more time out in the wilderness, she's going to dedicate her next bout of time to the same thing.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give you another nature check to essentially attempt the same thing over the next month. At advantage.
Nature 25.
Okay. As you As you approach, as you kind of map out the Green Veil, you kind of keep hitting a dead end when there's this point in the forest where like that kind of like it's deep within the Green Veil, such a like that phony like kind of like fake illusory like woodland terrain is like long past, and the forest gets thick enough that it's impeding your travel to the point where it's just been easier to go around it. And as you map it out, you're realizing that this is quite literally just like there's a very discreet like blockade of almost like a natural border that looks a little too tended to be just there by completely natural means. I'd say after like a few days of poking and prodding around this this area, you are at some point approached by a elven female who seems to be in like her mid 40s or so. Kind of like caramel skin, like very well manicured, like curly hair, who doesn't look necessarily like she's like someone who lives out in the wilds. You see a couple like little charms and things like that that seem to be like wooden thickets, a couple things that are maybe made out of like twine and things like that. But for the most part, she's wearing like almost something not too dissimilar to like what you would wear, where there's kind of like pants, like button shirt, but with like a green sash. And she approaches you and just says, "We've noticed that you've been poking around these parts. Is there something I can do to help you? Or are you lost?"
I wouldn't call it lost. I'm looking for something. I can't tell you exactly what. I'm on, I
Well,
guess you could say, a personal quest for knowledge.
not many people venture out into the woods for that sort of thing. I'm presuming you're from Verdania?
Am I from Verdania? No.
No. I mean, your home city would technically be. I mean, that's kind of a complicated question, but like either the Divinorum or Logistica, you kind of went between those two.
Well, the thing about my home is that's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't know exactly where I'm from. I mean, I know where I grew up. So I was looking for a place. More specifically, I was looking for a person who I think could tell me a little bit more about that.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check here.
Well,
12. She kind of looks you up and down, and she kind of like rubs her chin thoughtfully and just says, "Well, you've found this place, which is impressive enough. but I'm sure you understand my people are a little bit hesitant to share information with outsiders. So I'm afraid I'd need a little bit more if I were to help you here. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to turn and go back where you came from.
What do you need?
Well, I'd like a little bit more information as to why you're here. What is it you're looking for?
Truthfully, I'm looking for my mother, who I believe lives somewhere near here. I haven't
And
seen
what's
her.
your mother's name?
Above the table. I can't remember if we decided her name or not.
So I don't. Mazarin doesn't know.
Okay.
So you were separated essentially when you were young enough to remember her, but too young to remember her exact name, and it was something that was like an off limits discussion.
Right. Okay. Mazarin just sort of looks down and says, I don't know her name. I have one memory of what she looks like from my childhood. If you would be willing to, I could maybe show you.
She nods.
Mazarin is going to attempt to telepathically connect with this woman and show her a glimpse of the memory that she has of her mother. It's a nebulous sort of
Okay, sure.
short memory.
Okay. So you do this, and you see her kind of get this, like, solemn look, like she's kind of beginning to understand the situation a little bit more. And with that, she just says, "You should come with me." And you watch as she just like turns and waves her hand, and you watch as the brambles in the thicket just like unwinds in this like kind of disturbingly fast way to create this arch of bramble that gives way to what looks like just a society in which there is kind of this architecture and synergism with nature. As you step into the Umbral Grove. And now we're going to move on to someone else.
Damn.
Very good, very good.
That was dope as shit. Way to go, Mazarin.
Gotcha. Yeah. Making some headway.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
next.
Okay.
I think early on, Luminor would like to try and investigate, or at least set up an investigation to figure out who the mole is.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me a little bit more about how you would like to do that? What resources you wish to employ?
Yes. Going to use a combination of spells. I might also try and learn a couple of spells, probably from Autoluke. Focusing
Oh.
on. I know. So I know divination, which she's going to use that ritual to ask some clarifying questions, and then also use Find Familiar for surveillance, but then maybe some. I can't remember the spell, the one that lets you look at stuff with an invisible sensor.
Scry.
To kind of creep around.
Okay. I'll tell you, Autoluke can help you with this stuff, but you will have to pay the gold price associated with like your wizard shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just expect you to tell me how that works because I don't want to learn.
Okay. Well, then I think it would just be the price of spell scrolls, because then she could just copy them into her spell book.
Yeah, but here's what we'll do. You'll go ahead and get a. Are you gonna try? Are you just gonna take this at face value? Or you're gonna try to like sweet talk Luke at all to try to get like a friends and family discount here? No.
No,
Okay.
that is
Okay.
not what it is. Not going to be sweet talking.
All right. Good call. He's definitely gonna be like giving you options, and he's gonna be like, like many a young sprouting wizard would be quite thrilled to be in such company.
I've
Do
had
you
many wizard
feel
trainers.
quite thrilled?
I feel quite neutral. I don't really. It's not really.
Okay. And yeah, he'll help you with what you need. Just mark off the associated gold cost, but he can help you with that.
Okay. And then I think the way she's going to go about this early on, and doing this first because she kind of wants to see what comes out of it, is by planting small amounts of like controlled misinformation and seeing kind of what spreads or what gets picked up in combination with divining every now and then.
So I'm gonna kind of need, this is the sort of thing that I can't just boil down to like give an intelligence roll, and like if you roll high enough, like you find the spy. I'm gonna need some specific, I'm gonna need some names. Like,
Some
do you have
names.
anyone you suspect?
Uh,
Or like anyone attached to anyone you suspect? Like, I can kind of go over some of the bigger players.
yeah.
Let me see here. Let's pull them up. So I have. All right. We have Knucklebones.
Dude, you got a pick?
This was the, yeah, well, I mean, we'll just kind of go down the.
Hell yeah, I gotta go see her again.
So there was Issa, who was the fleet admiral, who kind of clued you into all this stuff to begin with. There was Vera, the healer, Waylon Cragg, who was kind of like the second in command. There was the drill master here, Knucklebones, the baker, Talon, the intelligence officer / recruiter. You've got a ballistics clerk. This is. Lyra, your kind of gnome arcanist who is helping Luke with things. You've got the town sheriff, Myunbong, your Hangul Dynasty liaison, and then the new remnants.
I like the new remnants.
So is there, you would, this is the sort of thing that you'd kind of have to focus.
Could it be possible that instead of focusing on a person, she uses divination to focus on like a location to narrow down the person that she focuses on?
Sure. So
Like
which.
Like she asked during the divination spell, like where will information be taken from the sanctuary or something, and then she like kind of scouts that location.
Oh, so you're
to see.
straight up using the divination spell?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'll have you use the divination spell and like run through that, because it's got like a whole thing of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't think you can ask one question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. Like, I don't know if that means I can just ask, like, yeah, I feel like a specific goal, event, or activity. So yeah, I guess the activity would be suspicious information exchange or
L-
being obtained?
Let's do this. Can you make a general arcana check here? Or actually just an unskilled intelligence check.
Yes. 11.
11. Okay. So here's what I'll give you to kind of help you interact with the game engine of my failing brain. So it sounds to me like one thing you are trying to potentially do, which is very clever, is essentially start a leak yourself and then use a divination to try to get information as to like where that leak is going. Am I kind of getting that right?
Mhm.
Okay. So I will say you would have to be specific about how you focus your divination. And you'd have to be specific about like how you leak the information. And specifically, what might be useful is actually multiple leaks with different, like subtly different details.
Yeah.
That go out to multiple sources, and then trying to use a divination to flush out like what comes out the other end. Now, I will say that whatever it is that you leak would have to be important enough that like someone interested would actually follow up on it, and it would have to be believable enough that it wasn't like obviously a leak.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
before we get into this, I'm actually going to, because are you sharing any of this information with, let me ask you this, are you sharing any of this information with Marion?
Be the leak.
Or is she a suspect?
Everyone's a suspect.
I
Here's
will
the-
not.
I'm not going to have, yeah, that is totally fair. Marion, however, is going to approach you. And I assume you may have had some contact with her as like we go into our downtime. But
Interesting.
if I may, one evening she is going to bring over a bottle of a very expensive wine that doesn't make you hallucinate.
Nice.
And you can tell she is gonna have, you can tell she's got something on her mind.
Mhm.
And on like just like a brief like acknowledgement of like this tension, she'll just say, Luminora, I've been thinking the war games in Conscriptus are going to occur in a couple months. I'm sure you're aware of this.
Yes, I am aware of this.
And whoever is deemed the champion of the war games will score a significant amount of diplomatic points for their respective house. I understand that it's a pretty big deal with your families.
Yes, it is a pretty big deal. You could say. That's almost an understatement, actually.
And there was already an attempt to push Conscriptus into seceding from the FETC. And without its navy, the Sacred Machine would essentially be crippled.
Yes. She's like squinching her face, kind of trying to make the connection that she assumes is there, but is not being
Yeah.
said.
And she kind of makes like,
would you
she takes a big swig of wine.
just speak plainly? I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, here you are, naval royalty, someone
I mean,
with
it's not what we call, but okay.
Well, you're someone with a lot of influence within a very influential house. And I'm not sure if you are aware. Actually, I am sure that you are aware. But although you are no longer eligible as an heir of House Catharis with respect to the War Games, there is a 6th seat that is open to those who prove themselves.
Yes. I'm aware they usually, get eliminated, and very rarely does that 6th seat matter.
I know it's kind of this cruel thing that Conscriptus does to just remind everyone that the houses are there because they are better than the common folk. No offense. I don't know how else
Well-
to say that in a nice way. I'm a big fan.
I mean, it could also be seen as a chance for upward mobility for someone who has the appropriate skill set.
Sure, make a contest about swords and have it between a blacksmith and someone who spent their whole life on swords. I'm not against it. I think if it was any other place in the world, they wouldn't even have the seat there. I'm a big fan. All I'm saying is you and your group could enter in the War Games.
She just kind of stands there a little speechless.
And if you won, I mean, it's already a volatile situation. Syndralis is Syndralis is all but in open rebellion. And I think it's pretty clear that the houses of Conscriptus are keeping their eye on the situation. If you were to cement the supremacy of House Catharis, perhaps you could be the catalyst for Conscriptus seceding from the larger empire. And with the military, with the spear of the founder working against itself, I think that would effectively cut at least a third off of the sacred machine. And I think other cities would follow shortly thereafter. The supply line between Karsus and Mordan would be severed. Conscriptus would control it. And I think it could be considered a very interesting opportunity for your houses.
How long have you been thinking about this?
I mean, to be honest, when first going over the concepts of permutational dissidence and the inception of your original group, clearly one of the members stood out a little bit, and I think it was pretty easy to see why. I mean, the heiress of a naval dynasty coming off of a significant victory for Thessa Catharis in the last 20 years. clearly shows to me that the downfall of the Far Empire begins with their ability to extend their reach.
It's a good plan. I mean, I'd have to propose it to the rest of the group and, well, I guess consider it myself. It'd be unprecedented to join as the 6th seat for the War Games as, well, not the heir, but
You would be extremely unpopular, and I assume you wouldn't have much in terms of sponsorships because, in my reading up on the rules, I think your old house would not be able to support you, and every other house would probably see you as a legitimate threat. So there's a pretty high chance of failure, disgrace, all of the bad things that come with that.
which I'm sure looks terrible for my house name. Yeah,
You
but
might
if
have
we
to.
could, that would be pretty powerful.
If it came down to it, never mind. I think it's something worth thinking about. And if Conscriptus was the first to go, it could potentially save a lot of innocent lives.
I'll propose it to the rest of the group.
If you come to a decision, I've already got a plan.
You already have you are you think things through very thoroughly.
Well, I have the beginnings of the plan.
How many pages are those beginnings of a plan?
She kind of like pushes you a little playfully, and she gives you a kiss on the forehead and then whips around, and clearly you see her mind, like there are gears turning, and she just like swiftly exits the room.
Okay, I will continue doing
Spy stuff.
spy stuff, but I will individually approach. Actually, maybe I'll just do it I'll just talk to everybody at the same time.
Do you want to do that
at some
now?
point. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you mind if your GM sets the stage?
Awesome.
Well, no, I don't mind. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, as you're all sitting in the dojo of Knucklebones, kind of like sitting on the floor, he comes out with this like array of these fresh pastries, and he just puts these down and he just goes, "Now, I know that we've got a variety of tastes here, but my personal preference, I like to keep things simple. This is a folded breaded pastry that is filled with a cream cheese filling. I call it a cheese Dane." And he just like sets these like just piping hot, like just flaky, like multi-layered buttery pastries with like this thick glop of like this very decadent rich cream in the middle. And just goes, "Let me know what you think. A lot of the congregation prefers sort of the more exotic fruits and what have you, but this is just comfort for me. So this is what I tend to make for myself. So here's the keys. Be sure to lock up when you're done, and enjoy a secret meeting or whatever have you." And he just kind of starts kind of clapping his hands together to get some of like the flour off of him, and he quickly like comes back and then just like grabs one of the Danes off the table as he just goes, "Fuck me, that's hot," and then just walks out.
So what's this secret meeting all about?
Well, this is
Well, I guess I wanted somewhere private for us to talk, and to ensure there weren't any prying eyes or ears. So, how much do you guys know about the Conscriptus War Games by chance? Nothing? Never heard of them? They're kind of a big deal.
Heard of them. Yeah, it's a little high profile for my line of work, or my past line of work, I should say. But
Yeah.
yeah, what about them?
They're coming up in a little bit, a few months here, and they are only held at a certain time, and well, the winner of the war games, gets a lot of diplomatic leverage. I would normally be participating as the, heir of House Cathars, but I'm not that anymore. But Marion did propose that we could join in the 6th seat, which is kind of like, an extra spot that they have for people who are not nobles.
Like the Everman?
Yeah, exactly. Like the regular conscriptus person who wants to prove themselves. There are like, training camps and all that stuff. Yes, Charles. You don't have to raise your... Oh, okay. Charles will go first, I guess.
Has anyone ever won the 6th seat?
I know
Sounds
this.
like a
Has
no.
anybody ever won the 6th seat?
Super no.
not even close.
Okay, so yeah, you ask, and I will immediately go, no. No, they have not. But I will also say that a noble has never joined in the 6th seat, because that's a little disgraceful.
Is you kind of not a noble anymore?
I mean, by blood, yes I am, but by my role, no I'm not. Enoch, I'm sorry, you had your hand up.
Yeah, these are war games. As it,
Yeah, war's not a game.
I know, Charles, you've mentioned that before, and I'm sorry I didn't pick the name for the event. Yes, Enoch,
I'll
please
apologize.
continue.
are these? Is this an actual fight, or is this more of a game? Moving
Oh, no,
pieces
it
on a
is-
board.
No, it is the fight. There are multiple rounds. It could
this
get
is a
very brutal.
Tournament of fighting.
Yes. Yes.
And we would.
I
be
mean, there are
going
multiple
against. We'd be going
aspects.
against your cousins.
Yes, we would be going against the other houses of conscriptus who would, submit their groups. We would be wildly unpopular, and that does matter because there are
Okay.
sponsors who can sort of help make things a little bit easier by giving you, gear or, other perks that make things a little bit better. But I doubt we will have any of those, at least early on. Maybe people will start to wing our way once we do amazing, because we would, I think.
What do we win if we win at 60?
Well,
what does that mean?
Normally, you win a chance to conscript to a quite high level in the Black Armada, and a lot of pull, just like political pull within conscriptus. So because it's normally, the houses that win, it's just each time the war games occur, the house that wins, kind of gets bragging rights, I guess you could say.
But why are we entering then? If we win, what are we gonna do?
Well, if we win, then we have pull in Conscriptus, more pull than, I mean, the tiny bit we already have, and we could maybe use that to turn Conscriptus against the Empire, which, as you have known, with the historical, happenings, could be a pretty big deal. Especially, I mean, Conscriptus is kind of like the militant force of the Empire, so.
So
I think if
how do?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if you get your family on board with this, then it's not a bad idea. If there's House Catharis, and us together.
So we would be technically competing against my house.
Right, yeah, but in the Embermaw there are a group of the best warriors that sort of control all decisions. And I guess not. There are alliances that are made and decisions that are sort of whispered behind closed doors, and if I guess what I'm saying is if we win and your house are on the same page, that would help us push a decision, make a decision. Otherwise,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
a little too risky, and then we'd sort of be in contest with your family.
I think I see what you're saying. Possibly not.
It would be essentially 2 votes cast by the same people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean after we win?
If we would win, and if
We're
that's
gonna
even
win.
a possibility.
I mean, if we would win, we would be casting the vote still within my house, if that makes sense. Because I'm still part of my house,
What if one of us
I just
takes the
couldn't.
seat?
I mean, it's not an actual seat. It's it's just like influence.
Wait, is this like a
Nebulous.
one-on-one thing, or are we a team?
No, we would enter as a team.
Oh, so these are team events?
There are some individual components.
Yeah, so it's, to be clear, Luminor, you would know that it's a mix of both, because a lot of like the war games is to kind of demonstrate like leadership, which is like, hey, bring your minions and have like your minions fight like other people's minions, and have your minions also demonstrate like some individual acts of skill. But the very end of it boils down to like a duel between like the heiresses of all these houses. But all the games before that allow people to like generate like sponsorships and other boons that help with that final duel.
So you're telling me that we're going to enter these games, potentially publicly humiliate ourselves for the chance at maybe taking a vote on a thing that's not even necessarily up for vote, which would be to, basically start an insurrection against the powers that be. This just seems like a lot of
Maybe.
the end point, doesn't seem to be very clear here. It's a lot of risk that we're taking for something that's not really a guarantee at the end. Like, who's to say that all the other houses would even come to the table to vote on that?
Well, one, not telling, just asking, proposing, if you will. And yeah, that's that's completely true. This is a very nebulous task with a high risk, high reward ratio. But so was just joining this insurrectionist group to begin with, and we did that. So that's why I'm coming to the table with it.
There's a knock on the door.
I'm for it.
Who is it?
No.
It's Dr. Luke.
Out of
This
character.
is a private meeting. We're having. No one's here.
I just had one quick point to make on what Mazarin just said.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
Only I'm allowed
Let
to
him
do
in
that.
here.
Are we not secure in this room?
Sorry,
I
I
need it.
couldn't help but overhear that Knucklebones was making his secret meeting, Danes, and
That's-
I just had to scry on the location. And I just wanted to say that to Mazarin's last point, the war games are going to happen regardless of whether you participate in them or not.
Okay.
So in a way, it's sort of just like a missed opportunity. These look good, by the way. I'm just gonna take one of these. And he just like takes a bite, and then he kind of like starts like backing out of the door, and it's like, in a way, it's like you could think about it like that. Alternatively, you could think about it as like it's an opportunity that you could seize by the balls and take to the very top, whatever that outcome might be. But if you just let it come and go, then it's just gone. That is like full-on hot lava. How does he make it so hot? I'm going to step outside and continue to scry on your conversation. And he'll just
You
like
wanted-
back away.
Okay.
Is he a threat? Do
Two
we have to
things.
kill him? Maybe he's that
We have
spy.
to, yeah.
I've been working on that, and I will keep you guys updated.
Wait. You've been working on what?
Trying to find who the spy is. Or the mole.
So, you've been doing that and scheming about games?
Marion just proposed this to me yesterday, and now I'm talking to you about it. I don't
Whoa.
think that's scheming.
Wait,
Why
yeah,
are your
you're looking
heads
for
up? I'm not even.
you're
Right.
looking for the mole, and you didn't even tell me. I feel like that's kind of like
That's
like
reflective.
saying.
totally in my wheelhouse.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, I kind of wanted to find it myself, and I thought you guys would be really
Hold on. Am
You
I a
guys might be
suspect?
impressed by me if I did. What? No.
Am I a
Okay.
suspect?
Always.
Awesome. You always know what to tell me to cheer me up.
Okay. So, anyways, back to the war games thing. How I guess I don't know if I'm asking who am I talking to here? Is this Luminora? Is this Luminora?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Hello?
sorry. I'm confused.
Pandara?
Would Mazarin know that this is like within Conscriptus, like outside?
So I would say, Mazarin, you would have a pretty, like, this would be something you'd have some knowledge about. And although it so, you know what, give me a history check.
History. Oh yeah. Natural 1. I'm
Okay.
actually really good at history usually.
Yeah. With a natural 1, there's something about Conscriptus where, like, you know that these games it's stupid how important they are. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. Because it's like it's like big deal. You just like stabbed your cousin with a sword, and now for some reason you get to tell everybody what to do. But that historically is how it works. It's barbaric and it seems kind of fucking stupid, but there is power in winning these games, and there is kind of this constant, like, these houses seem to always be like Game of Thrones, like clawing over each other to try to establish some kind of dominance, to dictate the policy of the houses, which dictates policy of the Navy, which dictates the policy of the military policy of the FETC, which is why the 6th house generally is like aware of how it goes.
Well, I guess her main concern would be making public appearances because Mazarin assumes that she probably has a price on her head at this point.
So that is an excellent point that has not been brought up yet. I will say you would know that within the games, like if you are a participant, you are absolutely protected as a participant regardless of anything else in the FETC. But even getting to Conscriptus is potentially risky.
Okay. Then okay.
It's like a John Wick Continental type of situation where you got to get in and put your hand like on the stairs, and if you make it there, you're okay. But absolutely, there might be people that, especially if this got out that you were trying to do this, there would be like you would expect like a legion of six house assassins that are going to try to stop you from this, because if they got wind that like the prodigal daughter of Conscriptus was coming back to try to like win a seat to turn Conscriptus against the Empire, that's absolutely like under no circumstances would they let her like anywhere close to the city on the off chance that happened, because that would be devastating. So that is an excellent point.
Okay, so Mazarin's gonna look around suspiciously and just say, okay, what I'm trying to get at here is this is, I think the risk that we're incurring is more than just, putting our swords on the line at this War Games event. I assume that if I make a public appearance, and I understand that this is all happening within Conscriptus, but if this plan gets out and, maybe another reason we should find the mole sooner rather than later, this could put me and all of us in extreme jeopardy. The Sixth House will come after us hard and fast. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I just want to put that out there that we're not safe we're not safe anywhere, honestly.
Well, and we're going to continue to not be safe. So how long do we just languish around doing little to turn the tides against the Empire versus making some moves that could be big game changes?
Would be a pretty big move to make while we are kind of unknown.
Yeah, we could get there, relatively disguised. Make it so that it's not until we're within the games that our identities are revealed. And then, if they decide to assassinate us afterwards, then that's an even bigger problem for them.
I can make you
in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, we could all wear masks.
There's a knock on the door.
We'll workshop that.
Yeah, Luke.
Come in, Luke.
He opens the door. You just hear this loud thunder crash come from outside, and this booming voice that just says "Knock," and the door just like blasts open, and he steps in with his finger up and he just goes, "I think I'm beginning to get it. So you're all going into these war games with the hopes of convincing the people to turn against the Empire." Totally makes sense. Once again, to Mazarin's last point, you're worried about being assassinated, and if you pull this thing off, you may create a more chaotic situation by which would be a veil to shield yourselves in. It reminds me of a time I served on the Dalmiri Council. I was part of the Dalmiri Cabal. You didn't know this. First outsider to be a part of it, but I was ousted, and they wanted to kill me. But what I did was I went into the bazaar, and I created this crazy distraction where I changed the pricing of one of the more expensive spices. One thing led to another. Ultimately, total chaos, and everyone forgot about little old me. So if you pull this off, potentially the old FETC has larger problems than... what's your team name again?
Nobody tell him. Please stop using our names.
Well, I know you, but I understand And he like looks around and just like takes a step back and like closes the door that he just blasted open, and he goes, "When I need to be, I can be very discreet. And I see that this is a discreet group of people."
Astute observation. Nasrin's anxiety is like fucking through the roof right now. She's like,
You want me to go back outside?
no, please
No.
just stay in here.
Yeah, and close the door and just stop making loud noises, please.
I will say I did break it off its hinges with that knock spell because it was not inlocked.
You probably have mending of some sort. Use your magic. No?
Enoch goes over and to one side of the room, picks up a shattered piece of a hinge. Just sit down, have more Danes. I got this. He begins fixing
I left the
door.
other one outside because it was too hot. And he just goes to sit down. He says, "No one minds if I smoke in here."
Well, this isn't our place, so
Sounds good.
Mazarin, maybe as he's working on magically, but not really magically, fixing this door, I get your anxiety about being in the spotlight and all that stuff, but I think it might be the first big move we can make while we still have some anonymity. You're all... Shush, I put a finger up. Pretty big people. Some of you are. But there was that other house that... I think we could really do this if we do this right. House Volantis? The guy you killed?
they are decidedly going to be against us.
Weren't they working to separate Conscriptus from
I mean,
the FETC?
okay, to be clear, their son was working to separate Conscriptus from the FETC, and he died in shame and disgrace, and it's a bad look for all of us. He had the workings of a plan that was great, and the execution of a coward, and they don't really vibe with that. So,
What if we fake your death? Short six.
hey, what? No, what are we? Why are we doing that now?
Well, I don't know if that triggers them to start moving on their plan, and we can kind of use
Well-
them to.
Well, now we're, I don't know, whatever we are, and this weird. I don't think my death will matter that much. Here's my proposition: we enter the war games as a masked or disguised mercenary crew. Some sort of concealment. We fight clean and discipline and really well, which we already know we can do. And then, we attract attention with our mystique, and then boom, our identities get exposed. Round one, maybe on accident, maybe on purpose, and we leverage that. Because then it's going to be chaotic, and people are going to be like, "What's happening? Oh my gosh!" You know. That
Yeah.
kind of gets us into the games without our identities being exposed, so that kind of helps
Mhm.
alleviate the concern of early assassination. And then maybe we gain a tiny bit of a following before they figure out who we are. And then after that, hopefully the momentum continues.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. Just to kind of pivot a little bit, I think we got to get this mole situation under control before anything comes of that.
Yeah. I can give you all of my notes so far and the upcoming
Oh.
plans.
Oh, Luke,
Yes.
you can't tell anyone about what happened in here.
Oh, I'll be
Oh,
honest.
Luke. Oh, Luke,
Yes.
I need you to listen to what I'm about to say.
Yes.
You cannot tell anyone Under no circumstances. Can you repeat that to me?
I think he fell asleep.
He's
I've never wanted
sleeping.
to shoot someone so much.
I'm not actually falling asleep, but what you were saying was very boring to me. In fact, I have not been listening to what you've been saying for the past however many minutes because it kind of shocked me that you didn't have a team name. So I've been jotting a couple down in this device. And he holds out a little notebook, but he says, but it's
Yeah.
magical. So I call it my notebook.
You know,
Um,
I usually don't agree with this man, but we do need a team name.
Yes. Otherwise, your acts and deeds are just lost to the ether. I've got a couple. Number one, the remainders.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Number two, the new Ledgerman.
I mean,
Mm,
no.
Kinda carries a history.
Yeah, I don't want to. Let's drop the Ledgerman.
Okay. Branding issue. All right. Number three, and my personal favorite, the magnificent convergence of inevitable victory.
Too long.
Way too long.
Not catchy.
But if
It's
if
shortened
you,
to miss it.
yeah, to okay, and then my final one, and there's history to this, the Exarch.
Well, that means nothing to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
we
that
don't
relevant to
know about
us?
We don't know about that.
No.
Why would we name our group that if it doesn't mean anything to us?
I mean, it
It's
sounds cool, but only
compelling.
because it came after the last thing you said, which was way too fucking long.
Well, maybe what you do is you pick one of them, come up with something better yourself, and then rebrand.
I mean,
How about
but we don't have to rebrand if we don't pick anything. Which,
Yeah, that's just confusing.
yeah.
If we have to rebrand, we might as well just clean slate and then just stick with it.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Like, that's like doing a soft opening instead of just a grand opening.
okay.
Right,
I see what's happening here. So I'm sure that by the end of the day, you'll all come up with something much better than any of my ideas, so I'll keep anything else to myself.
Great.
Great, yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
fine.
good.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm going to teleport out of here.
The
The
door
door's
is wide
broken.
open because it's broken.
Fine, I'll use the door just because you asked me to and not because I used all my spell slots on scrying. And he turns around and walks away.
Team name sort of goes against what we're trying to do here.
Well, I mean, I
mean,
assume
we'll
we need
actually
some
need
kind of
one. for
need one
games.
when we join the games.
Yeah.
Oh,
We just won't use it until then.
With that, you watch as Sal, who is here, speaks up and just goes, "What about the unbranded?"
Sal, how long have you been here?
but we're branded.
We were literally
the beginning.
branded.
Right, but oh, well, let's... Okay, we'll workshop it. We'll
I
workshop.
mean,
We'll work
Yeah.
on it.
yeah.
I mean, the of names we've heard so far, that's the best one.
It sounds
Yeah.
good at marketing. It's one of my
Yeah,
strengths. So let's come back to you with
It's got
something
the
else.
cool factor. It's just factually inaccurate.
Sure, I forgot about that.
I mean, weren't they more of a tattoo?
Like a
Yeah.
Potato
Metaphorical
flower?
branding.
Star, honestly.
The untattooed doesn't really flow off the tongue.
mm,
Also, didn't you guys also get other tattoos? So definitely not
I did.
fitting anymore. No, I mean we've got time, but I. So are we into this?
Yeah,
Is
when are
that-
these? When is this
Are we doing this?
happening?
My decision
How
is
long?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, cool. War games, let's do it. But when? How long do we have?
It is in Pause to insert DM.
1 month.
It is in 1 month.
Oh, cool. So we've got tons of time to prepare.
Wait, that's
Well,
How long does it
Oh.
take to get to
we have to
Conscriptus?
prepare too.
Not a month.
Well, I mean, it does not. That's correct. But
depends on where we're starting from. Is this meeting at the very end of our downtime, or is this going to be?
No.
We have a
No.
month still.
We're kind of like weaving between time. We'll say this is like a month into it.
Wait, so the
Oh,
third
sorry,
month?
2 months into it. 2 months into it.
Okay. I'm
Okay, I was
so-
gonna say that's gonna be a problem. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, war games, good for me. Luminora, I want to talk to you later, or perhaps I have already talked to you. I am confused about the timeline. We got nothing else to
Perfect.
do. I'm gonna go back out into the wide world. Writing a book,
Perfect.
I think.
Also, I share all of my mole hunt information with Mazarin.
And that is what I will do with my 3rd month.
I share it, and as I'm like telling her all the stuff I've done and like the divination and like the small little bits of information that I've
Classic.
put out, I'm like kind of like trying to eyeball her to see if she's impressed at all. And then I did this, and I read this strategy in a book.
Just respectable smoke out strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's textbook. Yeah. I mean, they might expect it, but it depends on how far ahead of us they are. We don't know that yet, but it's a start. It's a start.
So it's a good start, you would say. And okay.
TBD.
Yeah.
Not a bad start. Not a bad
Not
start.
a bad start.
No.
I, I'll put some effort into something I wasn't really super comfortable with. So just trying to see, how. Yeah. Thanks.
We can work with this.
Okay. So you share your information. Enoch was looking for. You're gonna have a conversation with Luminor at some point.
Yeah, during my downtime, I don't know. Is Luminora's
I mean, we
downtime
can.
done?
No,
Or...
let's jump to your
We
downtime.
haven't finished with anyone. We kind of been jumping around, so we can go to
Time
you.
is a concept.
At some time in the wibbly wobbliness of all of this,
That's
thank you.
Doctor Who reference.
Yep. Enoch
Nerds.
goes up to Luminora, finds her in the sanctuary. So we're doing all of this take down the man kind of stuff, and I'm definitely all for it. I'm just a little worried about what might have been lost. So I've had this idea, and maybe we need to maybe we can talk about this just separate from the idea I have, but the religion of your city and the religion of the Ember Maw are a little too close for my comfort, or maybe, I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a binding of paper that he got from someone in this city, and it is blank. He opens up to the first page. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about Zalathea and your city's religion. I've got a feeling that you guys will have that handled if everyone loses faith in the founder, but...
Wait, what do you mean we'll have it handled?
Well, you're... Let me look at my notes, because I don't know my own backstory. everyone in the Ember Maw sort of, they're separate, but they strongly believe in Vorokai and the mountain,
Mhm.
and he who sleeps in
Mhm.
fire. So when the founder goes away, nothing's going to change much.
Mm,
And
I
I feel
see.
like it's the same with Conscriptus.
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Yes, I see.
But for others, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know what options there are. So, if now's a good time, if in a couple days I can come back, otherwise, he holds up one of his drawing pens and is just looking at you expectantly.
Oh, am I supposed to describe her or just tell you about her?
Well, what are her tenets? What is what do the people who follow her believe? What does she expect of her followers? What does she give to her followers? It's a her, right?
Yes.
What power does she bestow? All of the good stuff, and we can
Yeah.
not
Yeah, I know
go
all that
above this.
information.
Yeah.
Sure. I know that.
Let me know if you want a DM bailout.
Yes.
I
I'll
think
give him like just the basic, I know, No, yeah, you just bail me out here.
So what Luminora tells you, and I would say this would actually be pretty off-putting for Luminora to get this question because it doesn't work like this at all. Like as she kind of talks to you about the basics, like there is no religion to Zalathea. Like she does not have clerics that worship her. She doesn't serve like a greater god. She seems to just be this like greater being that was quite literally just like the sword of the founder that kind of like was used or just like an accomplice to completely like subjugating any other like company that was um like uh any competition to the original FETC. So like the extreme definition of hostile takeover. It's like if like Amazon was like, well, we got this death angel that now is just going to lay waste to any of the other like FANG companies, and like we are going to be like take all their stuff and be them. So Zalathea doesn't have clerics. It's not a religion. She just is this immensely powerful being that has slowly been like her sole purpose seemed to be conquest, and Luminora is literally one of her descendants. And like any power of the houses is like historical just for being like related to or like the descendants of like this demigod, but also like the Zalathean blood flows through their veins, and there seem to be like some associations with like martial prowess and just like military like military leadership and instinct. So it is absolutely not religious at all. It's just like literal descendants of this great being.
Now, would you describe your people as fanatical?
No.
No.
Great question.
Okay. Not what I was expecting, but maybe I'll just put that in maybe a religion.
I mean, what else do you have under the maybe a religion tab?
You're the first person I've talked to.
Okay.
It seems we've got a little bit of time on our hands, so I was planning on going and leaving the sanctuary.
And doing what?
Well,
I mean, you don't have to tell them. I was just curious.
Finding religions, I suppose.
Oh.
I just want there to be information for I'm gonna assume we succeed in all of this, because otherwise, what's the point?
Mhm.
But when we succeed, I have a feeling people will be lost. And I want there to be answers for people.
Mhm.
The local, whatever you guys call them, governments. I'm sure they'll all have their own personal, beliefs from times in the past, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, I think.
I'm gonna smack pat Enoch on the shoulder. It's probably a little harder than expect. A little smack. Like, well, Gilda's fine. You got this.
Build spine. I beat your sister in a duel. We have to duel still at some point.
Hey, yeah, we can. Jeez, I was just trying to encourage you. I guess I did it wrong. I don't know.
It's all right. You'll find out a way to get in contact with me if we need to, talk about anything, secret meetings or anything of that kind. What?
Tattoo, right?
Oh,
I
tattoos.
love tattoos.
That's
right?
right.
I mean, I don't know the range on these bad boys, but yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. Enoch leaves and leaves the sanctuary for the rest of this downtime.
Where are you headed?
Okay, well, actually, he eventually leaves, but before he does, he spends a little bit, maybe a day or two, to finish the charm for Sal, who is now gone. He borrows or pays for supplies for some, like, silversmithing, and makes a little vial, like a miniature potion bottle, out of silver, and sort of like how people carve wood blocks to be like one piece, but like have a sphere trapped inside of like a cube. He makes this vial with the charm for Sal, like nested within it, with no openings. On the little potion bottle. Gives that to him, and his charm projects are completed.
Yay.
Nice. He gladly accepts. He's like, "Ooh, very nice," and he just like kind of like walks away while just like inspecting it really closely.
And then Lyra, you said that's a person here. Did you say she's an archivist or an arcanist?
An arcanist.
Damn. I'm gonna go to Lyra.
If there is someone that would be an archivist, which would be the Dragonborn.
Do we have a name for the Dragonborn?
Yep. What was it? Here. Nope. Here. Talon.
Talon. Okay. I'll make my way to Talon. Knock on the door or whatever.
Opens, sees you, and then just gives like a and then turns around, leaves the door open, and walks back to his desk. He's just got like papers scattered everywhere. He's clearly like deep in his own research.
Hi. My name's Enoch. I'm with that new group that came through.
I know you are.
Right, I'd expect you do. I was told you're the person to go to for information, and it is a lot of information that I'm looking for. Not very many learned clerics around here, but I was hoping maybe you could tell me some things about religion, if you're not too busy.
I am too busy, but I'll still help you. He kind of like, with a grunt, like gets up from his desk and says, what kind of religion are we looking into? Cults? More like a Netherese pantheon, something older, more recent.
Specifically about the religion of this place, Mordoon. Whatever was here before the founder sort of pushed it all aside.
So, primal gods.
If that's the history of this place, then yes.
Well, this place specifically, I mean, there's more like, how do you put it, interplanar deities that are worshipped by, I mean, mostly in secret by many within the FETC even. Certainly more popular before the rise of the Sacred Machine. But if you're talking about the primal deities of Mordoon specifically, that's a little bit more esoteric, sure. Let's see,
I can narrow it down if that would help.
It might.
Because it's the closest place and for no other reason at all, could you tell me more about Verdania and maybe what religions came out of that area?
He kind of cocks his head and just says, it's funny you ask, because this is quite esoteric knowledge, but I recall something of some kind of arch druid or fey being that was known as the Green Warden. Supposedly the tender to the Green Veil, that with the industrialization of Verdania was somehow diminished or potentially died. I only recall this because the prophet of the founder that essentially was instrumental in the construction of Verdania was known as the Grey Warden, kind of a play off the initial name of that older being. So, best I can recall, some kind of like primal ancient arch druid that was tasked with being a steward of the land and, you know, spreading the seeds of the forest and, you know, protecting the Green Veil. Obviously, not around anymore.
Well, not around or just not prayed to often.
Sure. I've got a section back here that's probably your best place to start. This gets more into old history of Mordoon itself. If you have no luck there, we've got a religion section over here, but again, I'd start right there. Let me know if you need anything. Go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage with Talon's help.
Advantage. Ooh. Perfectly average. 12.
12. And what are you looking for specifically?
I'll just find whatever history of Mordoon that he was pointing me towards.
Okay.
I'm not going to read it all that much, if at all, right now.
Okay, so you're just looking to gather things that could potentially be looked into later. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, you find, I'd say, 4 books that seem, just on like going through them, seem to be somewhat related to what you'd be looking for. And then I presume you ask if you can hold on to them for a while.
Absolutely, yes. If I can borrow them, I'll scribe them if I need to. I'm a great scribe.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit. Do whatever you want.
You are very kind. Thank you, Talon.
Close the door.
I'll go walk back, close the door. And then the rest of the downtime until we get called for this meeting, and then whatever time is remaining afterwards, Enoch will spend sneaking around Verdania and trying to make connections of people that are I want to say sentient, but that's wrong. Aware,
Dreamers?
not
Okay.
people that aren't brainwashed, and try to work his way into whatever sort of underground religious societies might be there.
Okay.
Very, very discreet, very sneaky, very.
Okay, so as you do this, give me a. What skill would you be using for this?
Is stealth, I guess, because I'm at least in the beginning, at least like first step is going to be like just recon.
I would say stealth would give you like the ability to be hidden. I feel like is somewhat of a given. You're decently good at that. But it seems like you're trying to gather information. Is that right?
Yeah, so I guess like I don't want to be involved in things at the like
I got you.
beginning, so like perception, like I'm not trying to investigate and like be hands-on. I'm trying to like be around a corner as people are talking.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I can do investigation if that's what you're pushing for.
Because it seems like it's more you're trying to draw connections. But I'll give you a perception roll.
I'm trying to pick up leads more than draw connections.
Okay.
Perception. Yuck. 8.
8. Okay. So yeah, I mean you spend a lot of time mostly just like kind of blending into the city. You don't pick up any leads specifically, but you spend a lot of time learning a little bit more about just like culture in Verdania, and also like how to be somewhat like hidden in an urban environment. So I'll say this. As you spend the greater part of a month like trying to pick up leads on any more like primal religions from Verdania, although that is not necessarily successful, I am going to award you a floating +1 to your stealth checks.
Floating as in I can use it at any time, or
like I made the change on your character sheet and it's permanent.
Oh, okay.
So you have a miscellaneous bonus that I'm going to name Verdania Reconnaissance.
Cool. And we can go to somebody else, but in that time where he's not so successful, Enoch is also going to attempt to ask Kasaria out on a date, and he knows the perfect place to go in the forest. So we can
Okay.
come back. I guess that's my part 2.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. Anyone else want to finish off their downtime activities?
Yeah,
What you got?
I want to go try and find my wife.
Whoa.
Okay.
I know she's with the northern group. Sorry, I just ate a piece of candy. With the northern Ferrum, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a pretty big task. Are you just like leaving, not telling anyone where you're going, and going off into the Embermaw on your own? Into a clan of Ashbourne that are kind of known to be like a little bit more kill on sighty when it comes to outsiders.
I wasn't gonna not tell anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Mazarin's keeping tabs on Charles ever since their little memory seance.
Mm-hmm.
With checking
Thank you.
in.
Definitely tell Enoch. See if he has any advice.
Whoa. Okay, I'm in Verdania right now. Good luck.
Well, this would have been, we're jumping around time because this would have been after your date. Because I assume you're coming back.
Hmm. Okay. Advice, don't be seen, except for by people that you trust. Maybe go to the southern tribes first, since they know you a little.
Mhm.
If you are seen and can't, I'd prefer you don't kill people, because as much as I don't like them, they are my tribe.
No, I don't want to kill them.
Maybe show them that mask. They should be able to tell from the craftsmanship that one of their own made it. Otherwise, good luck.
Okay. I guess I'd like to go to the south first.
Okay. I mean, so go ahead and give me a survival check.
Nice. I'm survivable. Pretty good roll. Where is survival? 21.
So you can make it back to the outpost of the Veyari, where you already met who you now know was your like mother-in-law, to ask some questions. You recall kind of this weird like excitement to you being seen. You are met with much less excitement. I would say not quite hostility, but like a very strong distrust. You
I asked
are
for
kind
a meeting with my mother-in-law.
As you do, you are, after a bit of like a deliberation, you are brought into the commander's tent that's like made of like these furs.
Granted an audience.
You are granted an audience.
All right.
As your mother, Serail, asks you, Charles, what are you doing back here?
I worked with one of my companions, and they tore through one of the walls in my memory, and I remember a lot. Supplying y'all with weapons, helping on raids, the ceremony, my wife. And I know last time you said she wasn't here anymore, and that she was up north. And I know that it wouldn't be safe for me to just show up unannounced. And I know you don't owe me anything, but if there's any way you can send a message or let them know I'm, of no harm, I'd appreciate it.
I doubt my daughter was ever afraid of you, Charles. To what end would I be sending this message?
Well, I don't want to show up there and get killed on the spot.
Why show up at all?
I just want a chance to talk to my wife.
To what end?
What do you mean, what end? I've been gone for years, and I didn't even know.
Right. And in that time, she had no body to bury. Yet, every day, she mourned. Her pain grew so deep that it turned into a curse. And she left her clan to join the Northerners. She's become overtaken with vengeance, and I do not believe that she is your wife anymore. As her mother, I fear that perhaps the most merciful thing for both of you would be for her not to know that you're alive. Now, I cannot control what you do, but as it stands, I have no way to contact her. If you wish to parley with the Agati as someone who would be seen as an outsider, I think that this would be most unwise. However, if you insist on going down this path, I can see what I can do to make contact with Samira.
Be most appreciated.
She walks over to this like little like wooden shelves that's like kind of held together with some twine, and she sorts through a couple of these pouches, and she pulls out like this very bright red powder and just like whispers into it, and then like begins like flicking some on your coat.
Okay.
And she says, "When I hear something, I'll find you." And with that, you watch as she kind of slowly makes her way out of the tent. And if you follow, you watch as she goes over to this area where they have these like bird cages with these desert falcons, and she like takes 2 of them. There's like maybe 10 or so, whispers something to both, and then like sends them off to the north.
I was just gonna thank her again, and then exit the like camp area, and walk out into the desert a bit and take a seat and just be with the desert.
Okay.
And then he'll go back.
Head back to head
The
back to
the secret place.
okay. I'll say as you spend more time in the Embermaw and accept a little bit more of your history with the Ashborn, I'll say I made a change on your character sheet and gave you a half proficiency in nature, bringing it all the way up to a -1.
Nice.
Okay. So that's Charles. We've got, I'm going to go back to Enoch real quick. You had a date that you tried to weasel your way out of. Did you want this to not happen at the table? It doesn't have to.
Made in secret?
You have to. I got boned at
have
the
to.
table.
Yeah, come on, man.
Okay. Yeah, sure. We can do it at the table, although I don't think anything important's gonna come out of it.
Okay.
Your romantic life is very important to us.
We just want to see you flirt with Alex.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's our favorite pastime.
That's what Jasmine and I are here for.
After a long string of failures and exhaustion at his task, Enoch knocks on the door of the Root and Rind collection something. Can't read
Collective,
my
yep.
handwriting.
You hear a chipper voice just say, "Come in."
I meekly open the door and then like take a deep breath and with confidence walk in.
Nice.
Okay.
Still
As you do, you see Kasaria, who is not really paying much attention to who's coming in, and just say, "Hello, welcome to the Root and Rind," and then looks up and just goes, "Enoch, I didn't think I'd be seeing you again." And she just kind of like does up her hair like a little bit.
Yeah.
And you see as she
Intimidating.
just kind of like goes, "Sorry, I was sure that you weren't serious about coming back, so I stopped counting the days."
Well, I said I'd be back, and I sort of made sure my work would put me back in the city. There's not a lot of people here that are aware that they're here.
Which makes it so much more intoxicating to find the ones that are.
Listen, I enjoyed our time together a month or so ago, and I was just wondering, on my way out earlier, we found this place, a glade. Do you have time for the rest of the day to, maybe get out of this brainwashed city?
You know, it has been quite a slow day, and I have just been worked to the bone between just this new inventory out of Logistica and the Aetherforge, and that sounds quite nice. And you watch as she goes over to like the front of her shop, and she just says, "Would you just give me a second to close up?"
Of course, business first.
And just gives you like a little smirk. You hear the door kind of like open again, and there's like a bit of a ring, and you like hear some footsteps come in, and she just like moves around the corner, and she says, "Sorry, we're just closing for the day." And then you says, "Oh, but it's not past noon." She says, "I said we're closing." And in just like a little bit of time, closes up shop. And she kind of goes like to the back like area a little bit, and she was kind of dressed in like this like greenish like robe, kind of more like appropriate for like Verdania like shopkeep. And she comes out in something more similar to what she was wearing on the train, with like this lavish like fur coat, a little bit like more of a revealing dress, not something that you would go out into like the forest with, but it's got kind of like it like shows her shoulders, but it's got these like sleeve like cloak things, very high fashion, and she is in heels.
Hot.
Oh, you might have to take those off later. Not opposed to it. The shoes. The shoes.
Whoa! Making moves.
You watch as she just kind of like, right. Yeah. I'm not if you're not.
Follow me.
And she will kind of like playfully like push you a little bit, like as you go out the door. And she'll follow behind you.
As we're leaving, Enoch, or maybe perhaps when she was closing up, Enoch just like looks around real quick, like, is my painting around here?
You do see it. It is kind of behind the front desk.
Aside from any tension, sexual or otherwise, within this NPC, he is just a little bit of pride. His artwork does not get displayed often, if ever, anywhere. So he's very happy about that. And then he will lead her out of the city and quite a ways into the forest, and I think after about a mile or so, he realizes this is not a good date location. I could like be a serial killer.
She's walked a mile in heels. Oh god.
Well, hey, she wore them, not.
She kind of took them off as you got into like the rougher terrain.
And if Enoch can remember, he'll go along the path that they took out of here and go to where that standing stone was, and where it was like newly consecrated with those magical maybe flowers and a sort of cleared off area.
About like I'd say about like 30 minutes into this, she kind of stops and just goes, "Just curious, I appreciate the effort here, but you could have done something way simpler. How far is this place?
You know, it was a long day when we made our way out here. I thought it was like 10 minutes ago. We can stop here if you want.
No, if you want to see whatever this place is, I want to go. I just want to know. Here, fuck it. She like reaches into her bag and she just like looks at you and she just goes, "Here, drink this."
Oh, magic. He pops it, drinks it.
As you get to like about half of it, she just like grabs it from you and like kind of like slowly stops you from drinking all of it. And then there's like a little like drop that's coming off your lips, and then she'll like wipe that off, and then she'll like just make eye contact with you as she just shoots back the other half of it.
Okay.
And then she is going to just like kind of like gently grab your hand and then like let go as she kind of brushes her fingers along yours, and then she just jumps up in the air and then doesn't lose momentum and just like flies off into the distance and like turns as she's like in this crazy outfit just flying through the air and looking at you like, "Now come on and lead the way."
Dope.
Cool. She's so cool. I'm gonna jump up a little clumsily and begin flying for the first time in my life.
Okay. So this makes the trip significantly shorter, but this would have been like through the difficult terrain of the Green Vale, like half a day's journey. Flying over the forest, you can make this in maybe we'll say 20 minutes as you locate the standing stones that you encountered.
I've never done this before.
So you
Been on a date or?
Yes.
yeah, I mean, so you presumably you drop down, and she drops down with you, and kind of like fixes her like shawl or whatever the hell it is, and just looks back at you expectantly, like, "This is really nice."
I pull out of my bag a assortment of, well, a very nice blanket, and also an assortment of stuff from Knucklebones, from the sanctuary. Lay it all out, and I don't think anything of importance is going to happen. Well, you can interrupt me or say if something does, but Enoch did have the impulse to start asking her about like religions and all that kind of stuff and like his resistance movements, but sort of backs away from it and just tries to take this time to again like find some relaxing moment and peace and like sort of be in this moment instead of just like working as this weird spy thing that he is.
Yeah. I'm considering if I need to ask for like an insight roll against your own autistic tendencies, but I think I'll leave it.
I think a base charisma check is fair.
For me, I think this is more wisdom, because I think it's more like allowing you to just be as opposed to like, is that fair? Like I think it's like fighting your own instincts.
Speaking from personal experience, I think that's fair.
Yeah, so give me an insight check.
I'm gonna use my fancy dice for this. I'm actually kind of good at insight too, I think. 17, or is that maybe 17?
17. I would say there's probably a lot about the situation that makes Enoch uncomfortable. There's also like a moment where like as soon as Kasaria like sits down, she just kind of like watches you set up your thing, and you watch as she just like, as you set up, she kind of like is kind of doing her own thing. You notice, and she takes a couple minutes to like you kind of hear her like muttering some kind of incantation. And then you watch, there's like a brief moment where there's this like reddish, like flaming chain of interlinked hexagons that creates this dome above you and around you, like the both of you. And then like briefly there's this flash of heat, and then it like disapparates, but you can tell if you like get close to it and like look at it like a certain angle, or the light hits it a certain way, there's this faint like red shimmer, like there's this kind of like barrier that you can go in and out, but that like the two of you are like protected within this thing. And she just looks at you and just says, can't blame a girl for wanting to be too careful.
No, not at all. I was just gonna maybe fight off whatever came, but if I don't gotta fight, that's just so much better.
Oh, with me, you wouldn't necessarily have to. I didn't want to show anything off on the train, but I can take care of myself, thank you very much. As much as it was very nice not to have to.
Getting that sense now, yeah. Anyways, you should try these. They're called Danes or something. Great guy makes them. They're maybe not hot anymore, but they were. They're great.
She like looks the tiniest bit bored when she like takes a bite of one, but then shortly after she's like, oh my god, this is really good. You have to introduce me to your pastry guy.
Big maybe on that, but I'll try.
Okay. I suppose you can't be upfront with all your secrets too early. You, with that roll, you have a very nice date. Is there anything specifically that you would like talk about, or like, I don't know, like?
Yeah, in the most non-intrusive way that he can. He just wants to get to know a little bit more about her life in Verdania, and I guess her life in part just like generic, but also like, how you doing living here? You know, this place is kind of shitty, and you're one of the cooler people here.
Yeah, I mean, she gives you a pretty like significant rundown about how she's like a Farum orphan that essentially like came up with this criminal organization called the Bezdani Syndicate, and essentially became like a smuggler slash like fencer for various like contraband, arcane items, things like that, until she kind of like made enough money to kind of like pay back her debts and then get out of Farum, which is the first thing she wanted to do, going to the next closest place, which was Verdania. Much nicer, much more lucrative. She got into like the textiles trade and like enchantments and things like that. And ultimately talks about how it's like been very difficult to meet interesting people, and like talks about how she's been getting very bored in the city. And after that, she kind of really gets into like wanting to know more about you, and specifically, you can tell she's also done a lot of research on the Ashborn and seems like very interested in that. Like she knows a little bit about like the religious like setup. It might be a little weird to have someone like read up on things from like an outsider perspective, because any text or whatever she has is not coming from like, you know what I mean? But she's very open-minded.
Enoch is forthcoming in his religion, and Vorokai, although he's not maybe exactly super religious, but
Well, she's not asking you about that. She asks you like a couple questions here and there, but she wants to know more about you. Like, are you gonna be like open with your backstory about the whole like fighting, the mask, the marks, all that?
yes, yeah. He'll plainly state that, like, you know, he is technically exiled from his own people for being a low performer, but you know, they prefer combat prowess way more, and he's far more into the arts and the science or magic of the body. I definitely say magic of the body at some point.
Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a glint in her eye as you do. I will say she, in a very real way, she kind of like hears the way that you kind of describe this and kind of has this moment where she's like, wow, that's like such a sad way to think about that regarding like the whole like combat only, that sort of thing. Not in necessarily like a like judgmental way, but just like she seems a little surprised with that information.
Can I make an insight check while I'm sort of divulging where Enoch came from? I want to be very open about his personal opposition to the founder, and also just how the Agatis' previous opposition and now like maybe working with them. And can I get a read of what her standing is with the FETC?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
I'll roll above a 10 at some point. 15.
She's completely unfazed by it. In fact, you anticipate that she anticipated that based on the little bit of research that she did. You get I'd say your general read of her is like, this is somebody who came up in a hard way and has kind of learned to carve out of life like within the shitty system that she exists in, not because of the shitty system that is there, if that makes sense. So she's kind of like everyone else, just like doing the best she can. She happened to do like quite well for herself because she was like came from a situation where it was literally fighting for survival. So she's not like this like noble bred like debutante, even though she has kind of learned to come off that way because it's good for business. Mm-hmm. But she's very much like agnostic at best towards the FETC, and more than likely like disdainful, but kind of resigned to the notion that it's like too big to fail.
Okay. Just for confirmation, I think that's all of the, maybe that's all the important shit, but just for confirmation, as there's a moment when we're packing up, I'm packing up all this stuff, putting it back into my bag, and if I get a moment away from her glances, I'm just going to write her name in the ledger book and see what her IRD is, what her technical opposition would be.
I think you already did this.
Oh, on the train we did, huh?
Yeah, her IRD is loyal.
Okay.
Which just means that she doesn't have a documented history of like disloyal things. Like, as far as the FETC is concerned, she's like a functional citizen, but it doesn't have anything to do with like her disposition towards the Empire.
Okay. That's it. Escort her back or fly back or whatever, and then
she'll you two fly back, and as you're kind of standing in like the As you're making it back to her store, she just says, I understand if you don't want to tell me, because I get the sense that... But what is it that you do when you go off to your dangerous places, fighting dangerous things?
That's a bit confusing right now. I sort of fell into a position of one of the Black Ledgermen, but that was very recently upheaved, and now I'm sort of working with a group of people called the I say the name because I can't find it in my notes.
The Shattered Covenant?
The Shattered Covenant. And seems like there's a lot of them, but they are all focused on bringing down the founder and his religion and giving back this land to the people that had it before.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to say that while we're in the city. I've heard of them. That makes sense. The long disappearance. Okay. Well, you kind of like get to her door, and she says, well, I had a lovely... You notice once you say that, she's got like this, like gears are turning.
Yeah, I'm instantly like, fuck. Suspicious.
Yeah. She says, I have something for you. Will you wait right here?
Surprise, it's the cops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
She steps inside, and then she's gone for like 10 seconds, 30 seconds.
I hide.
A minute.
Nearby, but I hide.
The door opens again. She steps out. You step back out?
Yeah.
She looks at you and just goes, okay, weirdo. Look, I want you to have this. And she holds this this quarterstaff.
Oh.
As you look, it's got this like effigy of like this kind of like scrunched up little like it kind of looks like one of those Easter Island heads, but it's like a little baby body with like the massive like Easter Island head, like kind of hugging itself at like the tip of it. It's like these rings of bronze with like this bronze idol atop and on this wooden quarterstaff. And you can add a staff of healing to your inventory.
Oh. I like the name of that.
It allows you to cast some healing spells from it. For your case, because you're like a mercy monk, right? I feel like it makes sense that you'd be able to use this.
Yeah.
Just using your wisdom modifier. She just says, given I know a little bit more about your line of work, I feel like maybe this is the sort of thing that might come in handy.
Wow, I can't. Thank you. I can tell this is going to be very useful.
Yeah, I'll probably end up just buying it back from whoever loots it off your corpse for, a significant below market retail value. So not too much of a loss for me, as there's not too many people who move this sort of thing. So, yep. And she just kind of is nervously pacing a little, shifting her weight outside the door.
Haven't failed yet,
Yeah.
so they'd have to be pretty strong. And
You gotta go for it.
Quiet.
You're not here.
Enoch like takes a step forward, looks her in the eyes, tries to non-verbally ask for consent, and then goes for a kiss.
Yeah.
Consensus. Good.
She goes for it. Yeah, goes well. As she's kind of like holding you in the embrace, she just goes, I usually don't do this, but since you're almost certainly going to die and I'm never going to see you again, do you want to come inside?
I have time. Why not?
Perfect. So fade to black, and Enoch can stay as long as he wants, and Eagle 2 has landed, or whatever. I guess it's Eagle 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead and take your point or level in Warlock, and we'll go on to who we
Not
got
this time.
next.
Not this time.
Who we got next? I'm actually going to vote for a super fast pee break so that I can sit down again. While we go to, we need to resolve Mazarin, Luminora, and Chuck. We finished.
Charles is done.
Charles is done. Mazarin and Luminora we have to resolve. So
Doing the actual
Give it,
orc
like-
work we're supposed to be doing.
yeah, 60 seconds. No, that was important,
Late
Pierce.
is good work, okay?
That was
Yeah, dude.
important. I'll see you in 9 months, buddy.
We all gotta don't do this to me again.
Uh-oh.
God. One time, I don't know if Jasmine, if you've heard this, but like one time it was a casual kind of like, yeah, we kind of spend the night together.
Mhm.
And then like literally a few weeks later, he's like, you have a kid. And I'm going to use that kid against you.
Have to explicitly tell him that you're using protection.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
We've
Yeah.
got
Uh-oh.
lambskins abound.
Magic spell to.
Yeah.
How have you been, James?
In general,
Yeah.
or just like as a medical experiment?
Oh, I meant in general, but I mean, whichever you prefer to chat about.
I'm doing fine, in general. I had a, well, not really an ultrasound, but kind of like an ultrasound.
Is this the FibroScan? I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of my liver, it's like, dun, 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 dun. It's like a little metal thing inside there that thumps on you.
Oh, I've never actually seen one of those.
It looks like a, you know how the ultrasound like part that they put on you is like
Mhm.
like a T shape.
Yeah, the probe.
This is more like an I or a lowercase L, and I assume it works like a speaker.
Mhm.
There's like a probably like a electromagnet in there that changes polarity and moves the metal piece back and forth. Because it just thumps you once, but I could feel it like kind of like almost like, yeah, like they're getting those waves or whatever. I don't know. I'm
Getting
not
those
a,
waves. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is your liver good? Your liver check out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have a appointment with my cardiologist to go over all the tests, basically. And then I have a appointment the day after that with my pulmonologist to go over all the tests again, basically. Although I like my pulmonologist a lot more than my cardiologist. Cardiologist is fine. She's cool. But like, I don't know.
Could be better.
Yeah. I guess I just have a better rapport with my pulmonologist.
Well, her extubating you has probably won some brownie points.
I mean, yeah, it's not only against her, that's for sure.
All right.
I also don't know what extubate means, so.
Take the tube out of the throat.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, definitely. That's all the points.
Sore.
Oh,
Um,
Not her. Oh no.
Master. You got one more month left. Anything with your downtime?
In the last month, assuming that I came home after my visit to the
Oh, I sent
Green-
you a message about that.
I heard a ding and
Luminora, go.
There are some sky ships here, right?
There is specifically one.
What's their like chain of command, their like naval structure? That's what Numenor is gonna
Yeah.
get into.
Yep,
It's,
yep,
like,
yep, yep, yep.
figuring out if they're good at that.
It is owned and operated by Captain Yuna Lysandra.
Cool. Cool.
She's actually not the captain. There is a captain of the sky ship, but it is her ship.
Gotcha. So is that like the extent of their navy?
Yes.
All right. Well, I would like to integrate myself into that, I guess.
Commandeer is the
Not
word you're looking
commandeer.
for.
I wanted to see if it was like, I don't know, kind of see if they're like, in tip-top shape and up to snuff. And work with
Okay.
them.
So you want to approach Yuna?
I guess.
Okay. So Yuna, you have to wait a couple days because Yuna and her team, the New Remnants, are going to be out on some kind of job. But sure enough, they return, and you see them carry like this carcass of like this aberrant beast that they've slain on their adventures, and then you see Autoluke very proud as they enter back into the port, and he just goes, "Well done! I knew you had it in you." And he says, "Let's see what we've got here. An aboleth spawn. I haven't seen one of these since the Third Age." So after a bit of time, Yuna sees you as you kind of approach, and she just goes, "Oh, hey, cousin." And she just kind of like hops down and just says, "What are you doing over in these parts? I thought you might be avoiding me."
I mean, you have been on a mission, so no, I just heard of you peripherally that you were here. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I heard that you have the only ship in these parts, and, well,
She kind of like
it
smirks
help?
and like looks over at her like kind of like gaunt like shadow sorcerer friend, and you watch as he just like throws her a sack of coins.
Yes, I couldn't help finding my way over here to, I don't know, see if there's anything I could do on said ship.
Do you need a ride?
No, I just wanted to see what the, command structure was like and the staff and how it was run and the quality of the ship itself.
Wow, you of course. Right this way, and you watch as she just like leads you on the ship, and yeah, she will give you the grand tour. It is a very this is not like a warship. This is more of like a diplomatic vessel. It's quite fast if it needs to be. It has some like weaponry on it, but it's kind of more made for like speed, a little bit of stealth, and for the outward appearance, it's supposed to be like somewhat ornate and beautiful, which it is. The design of it is a little bit outlandish, but from an engineering standpoint, quite practical, actually. Yeah, it is in good shape. You see that there is a captain and first mate. The crew is kind of like separate to the like the new remnants, as like the crew is able to like operate sufficiently without them. And yeah, with that she says, yeah, with that she just kind of looks at you and says, yeah, so it's not much, but, and to be clear, like this is a like hundreds of thousands of gold pieces of an investment. Like this is like suitable for like an actual diplomat. So yeah, so her being like, you're like, okay. And she goes, yeah, it's not much, but it, you know, gets us from one place to another.
Yeah, Luminor like kind of touches the, I don't know, some ship part.
Bow.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, the bow, the piece of wood there. Definitely noticing your flair for the theatrics among it. Looks very nice.
Yeah, they, you know, I had a little bit of input as to the design, and it was nearly twice as costly for this, but you've got a good eye. This is actually rosewood, which is typically seen as a tone wood that's used in various stringed instruments, outrageously expensive, especially for the purposes of shipbuilding. And what they said was it'd be easy to do like a rosewood top with your typical mahogany base and then just like a fine lacquer because it's not, but nope, it's just the whole thing. Yep.
Rosewood.
But it also is extremely lightweight because of that. And if you'll notice, and you watch as she just like pulls out her heirloom blade as you look for the first time on the sword known as Axiom Dolus, the heirloom blade of the heir of Lysandra.
Whoa.
You see that it's got this like ruby eye in it that as she pulls it seems to like almost look at you. And you watch as she like pulls it, it lets out that like sword, like shing, like wine glass sound, but like metallic. And as it does, there's this like beautiful, perfect pitch, like high C that is ringing throughout the air. And you watch as she gently touches the blade to the side of the ship. And you watch as that reverberation just begins to bellow from deep within the ship, but it makes a harmony. Where it actually makes like a full-on chord where there's like low notes, high notes, and just this like, it's this neutral chord where you can't tell if it's like major or minor, but there's like a fifth in there somewhere, and it just creates this like thick, like just dense harmony that just begins to like fill your chest, and you can feel it like coming up through your feet. And then as soon as she takes it off, there's still that like shinging sound just from the blade as she silences it by skillfully sheathing it.
Yes, rosewood. Beautiful, beautiful. So these are all, this is all part of your house's grand plans or something. Sanctioned actions. I take it.
I always love how blunt your house tends to be. Really, I find it quite refreshing. Yes, I think that with these activities going on, it makes sense to have a hand on the wheel. And I think we can both see that the founder's time is coming to an end. It's not a matter of if, but when. And my house has foreseen this for, let's just say, a long time. And obviously, since you're here, I can see that you found yourself on the same side, which is curious because if I'm not mistaken, you're the same woman who slew our cousin Fisher. So
Well,
forgive me if I'm a little bit confused as to your own motives.
to be fair, he thought the only way to get that done was by my own death, and unfortunately, that wasn't something I was willing to allow. So,
Sure. I mean, Fisher was a fool. There's no doubt about that. But after defeating him, you couldn't have spared him? Potentially use that to buy yourself some favor with House Volantis? Just seems a little bit rash.
it was a very well thought out decision. I assure you, it was not rash. And while I did consider that option, I truly think that it was would not have worked out in his favor or mine if we were both to live.
Sure. I'm sure that's the case.
Anyway, if you happen to be going on any sort of missions in the next month or so, I would be interested in joining you if possible.
With that, you hear a small voice kind of pipe up from behind as you see June, the Hangul monk, kind of speak up and just goes, "Oh, that'd be so much fun to have you come along."
I can't tell if she's being genuine or sarcastic because I know nothing about her, so I'm just like...
Yeah, you look at her strangely and she just says, I've heard tales of some of the other houses of Conscriptus, and I'm certainly frequently impressed with Yuna's swordplay, but we've heard that the skill of House Catharis is truly unmatched. And Yuna just says, "It's true. There's no one out there that's better with a blade," and gives you a smile.
Okay, well, yep, if you're going anywhere, and don't mind me tagging along, let me know. If you do mind, don't let me know, that's fine. And I'm gonna walk off.
She says, "Actually, tomorrow we have another assignment. We're sabotaging some shipping routes between the Ironford Company and Ferrum. Something about precious metals that can only come from Karsus."
And you're okay with me coming along?
Of course, cousin, I'm asking you, since you offered. We could use the extra hand, and we'll make sure that you're paid accordingly. we can split our take into 6. And then, like, the Goliath gives her, like, a very annoyed look, and she says, she can have my take. It'll be nice just to get to know my cousin a little bit better.
I truly just wanted to be on a ship, so I'm totally fine without a take. I would appreciate coming. Thank you.
I insist. Every one of my crew members must be paid accordingly.
I mean, okay. Well, yes, thank you.
Oh, sorry, not crew members, esteemed guests. How's that, cousin?
That feels better. I know. Yeah, it's fine. So the new remnants. What happened to the old remnants?
Good question.
You know, all this was Autoluke's idea, but have you heard of the group? Surely you know the group that, you know, saved the world from Karsus as, you know, your mother held open the gate.
Yeah, I didn't know they were called the remnants. I just heard of their names at one point.
Oh yeah, that was what their group was called. I know, pretty shit branding if you ask me. But
Whoa.
How dare you?
as far as I understand,
They all
some of them have faded into relative insignificance. One of their older members became the King of the Black Sky, who's now the Emperor of the Hongul Dynasty. One of their members is a powerful wizard out of Karsus Ascended, and she has been, actually she's in Mordun right now, I think, meeting with the Directorate, trying to parlay some kind of deal between their Council of Mages and the Far Empire as it relates to the conflict in Karsus. Sort of boring political stuff that I don't pay too much attention to.
sure you don't.
She gives kind of like a sly smirk and just says, well, word on the street is that this mage is after something that the founder created and willing to part with a lot of her secrets regarding advances in automation, soldiers, things that would make our houses completely obsolete. So,
Fun.
another reason to pay attention to some of the dealings in the world, because you always want to make sure you're one step ahead.
Of course. Obviously. I know that. Sure.
She just like gives you a smile and says, "Are you feeling all right?"
Honestly, it has been a crazy few months, so probably not.
Well, we should have a drink
Getting
sometime.
used to everything. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Maybe you, me, and you could bring your friend Marion.
I could bring my friend Marion, yes.
She seems like such an interesting person.
Does she? I feel suspicious. I'm suspicious. Okay.
You want to make a suspicious check?
Yeah, can I make a suspicious check?
Sure.
Where's my suspicious dice? That is. What's my thing? 10.
10. You can't read it on her face right now, but you feel like you are in a duel and you are losing.
Damn it. Yeah, okay.
Like, you almost feel like she's specifically bringing up information to confirm her own suspicions.
Yeah.
Smart.
Great. So it's a date then?
Well,
Tonight,
yeah,
call it a
let's-
date?
Oh, we're tonight, right? Oh, sure.
It's no worries if you two have other plans.
No. We don't have other plans, but no, we don't hang out that much, that often.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it would be okay if you did, Luminora.
Hmm. I'm sure it would be. So, but yeah, I'll try to find her around. And did you want to hang out with anyone else? Like Mazarin, she's really cool too. Is this like a girls thing?
No.
Whoever you would like to bring, it just came to mind. I don't know why.
Cool, great, love that, love that, love that.
And with that, she says, "Okay, well, I suppose I'll see you later," and she leaves.
Ah! What have I done?
Okay.
It's always the Game of Thrones episodes. With,
It is. It truly is.
you.
I forgot it.
Okay. I think that covers everybody's downtime.
Time to get some
Enoch, did you have
uptime.
anything else?
Yeah. Real quick, I'll go to the leader lady. God, I'm sorry. I'm so bad with notes now.
It's okay. Issa?
Issa. Write that down. Oh, fine, Issa.
It's okay. I threw like 18 NPCs at you guys all at the same time, so don't feel bad. I don't know their names either.
I have a sanctuary section, and she is now added to it. Hey, Issa. So, oh god, she's also intimidating. Just wondering, there's like a recruitment person here, right? How do we go about just potentially in the future if we ever find somebody that is worthy of the cause and trusted?
We're losing you on your mic.
Hello?
Yep, we got you.
What's the process for bringing people on board?
Well, there is a vetting process between myself, Talon, and Waylon. And then usually one other member between, Myunbong, Autoluke, and she rolls her eyes. Knucklebones, but he never shows up to that sort of thing. Lyra. And there's an interview process that is done outside of Sanctuary grounds. And then deliberation, and then a decision.
Okay, cool. Cool, just good to know for the future.
Is that what you came here to talk to me about?
Yeah, we're I assume going to be out and about and talking to people. Yep, that was it. Thanks, Issa.
You didn't have someone specific in mind?
I might have, but I'm not willing to share that with you yet.
She smiles and says, "Was that the only reason you came by?"
He looks very concerned for a second. I think so.
Okay. In the future, Talon can answer those sorts of questions. But now you know.
Cool. Thank you, Issa. Great looking knives. I leave.
Okay.
Looking nice.
All right. She appreciates the compliment on her chest knives. And
That's the wrong spot, buddy.
Great looking.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, Jasmine, did you want the mercy of like above the table, like playing, or like kind of bypassing the
God, yes.
the triple? Yeah. Okay. Why don't you tell me how that goes? In fact, here's what we're gonna jump into. Sorry, you told her that I'd be there?
I don't know.
Why?
She just brought you up, and I don't.
Yeah,
like
that's weird.
I know. And then I don't know. I thought it would be weird if I was like, no, she wouldn't I don't know.
Like,
I
what does she
froze.
think? She assumes or she suspects we're what?
I mean, she probably knows that's kind of the whole House Lysandra thing.
Well,
They're
no,
really
knows what? Knows what?
that we're a thing.
So we're a thing now.
Well, I don't know what to call it. So, yeah, we're a thing. You know, we're something.
I'm sorry. I'm
Right?
just giving you a hard time because it's very adorable to see that you're flustered.
I'm very flustered,
Um,
and I do not like being flustered. Please, Marion, give me some mercy.
I will have mercy on you.
Thank you.
And I will also go to this thing with you, but you will owe me.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
And I mean, if anybody can handle Lysandra, it's definitely you. So
I know. And she says, I'll need to get ready. And she turns around and just starts like getting ready for the thing. You guys go through this, whatever we'll call it. And, I'll have you roll for Marion. We're going to do a little bit of social combat here.
oh, crap. I feel like the goal Luminor is going to have is to just be as quiet as possible and let Marion do as much of the work as possible.
Yeah. So
Not a bad plan.
Yeah, thank you.
go ahead and roll a d20 and add Marion's persuasion bonus, which is a plus 10.
Whoa!
Right. Okay.
Charismatic lady.
Charismatic. A 28.
Okay.
Wow.
Wowzers.
So you actually have a very enjoyable evening because you don't say pretty much anything. The food is amazing. That's one thing that might piss you off. It's better than the Cathari kitchen. You don't know where she's getting this dinner, but it's like annoyingly good. But there's this like somewhat tense, somewhat playful like conversation between Marion and Yuna, where you can tell they're kind of like dancing around each other, and like ever so subtly, Marion is coming out on top, where she's not really giving any information, and she's kind of like having these very like polite, but like kind of cutting remarks, like simple things where it's like, oh, what an interesting question. Or like, oh, I would have thought you would have known that considering your position. And it gets to a point where Yuna, you can tell like through her smile, she's getting a little frustrated with just how much of a just the goal line D that Marion has put together. And you see she tries to like direct it onto you, and you watch as, Marion comes in and just tanks that for you. So you kind of just get to sit there and like watch her work, and it's like watching a conductor just like completely control like the pacing of the conversation. Also, Marion brings up, she looks at you at one point as kind of like this look of like, I hope this is okay. But she just says, I don't know if you heard, but we were actually thinking about observing the war games. And Yuna just goes, oh, like through like a sip of wine. Like, that's so interesting. It was just before Luminora's conscription into the Ledgermen that her and I were actually due for an exhibition duel. And, I was joking with my family and that, it really saved me not to have to duel her because she totally would have destroyed me. And Marion just kind of like brushes it off and just goes, yeah, I know, but I was thinking, you know, if presumably you're going to go as a contestant, and as you know, our group, and she kind of like gently like brushes your hand as she says that, is potentially having a little bit of heat on us, such that it's going to be a little bit difficult to get there on our own. We were wondering if we could actually travel aboard your skyship. And you see him just go,
Bummer, right?
oh.
We'll pay for gas.
Well, you understand that if for whatever reason we were seen harboring fugitives of the Empire, that could put House Lysander in a very awkward position. And you watch as Marion leans forward and just says, "You've been conducting covert operations under the Shattered Covenant, which is an open insurrection against the FETC." And there's this long silence, and she just goes, and she takes like a big sip of her wine and says, on the other hand, I can't think of any reason that we'd come across any checkpoints or that anyone would ask to search our vessel. And even if they did, they wouldn't have the gall. So, of course, that's no problem whatsoever. So, would you like to, if you want to watch the War Games, then sure, yeah, then you can absolutely come aboard my vessel. Is that what you want to do, Luminora?
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
You watch as like there's this moment where like she very like for a brief second is super frustrated that you said yes. That was kind of like a, hey, I don't want you to come. This is your chance to like, and she just goes, okay. I will.
Get back to
Some of your party might have
I
to
will
share. Yeah, it'll be great to have you back.
Right.
Well, it's getting late. Luminora, did you still want to go out with us tomorrow?
I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for the invite tonight. Food was amazing. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Gotta tell me who
Wow.
your chef is. So
Well, I
I
can't
won't
share all my
poach 'em.
secrets. Yeah.
I won't poach
All
right,
right.
see you
Well,
tomorrow.
thank you two for coming by.
Yeah, of course.
You two dip out. And as Marion
Great.
leaves, she just goes, God, she's insufferable.
Wow, that was amazing to watch. You are something else.
I don't know what you're celebrating for.
Oh, did we lose?
No, but you are now in my debt.
Oh, that's fine. That's great. I love that actually.
Okay. Well, we'll be dealing with that shortly. So
Perfect.
on you go.
No, not that shortly.
All right.
Not that
So, with that, at some point in the near future, unless anyone has any more downtime activities, flirting, or canoodling with the NPCs, there will be a moment where Marion summons you all together to discuss your next steps. So once again, you find yourself in Knucklebone's dojo.
Does he just rent this place out for secret meetings?
I mean, maybe we have just a standing reservation every month.
Well, no one really uses it, and it's basically just like the
It's all
like
communal.
front room. Yeah.
Socialist society.
To be honest, I like the company. So Knucklebones lays out some some kind of
beans.
well, this time it's like a more savory, like egg-based, like egg and bacon-based pastry. So it's like a little fluffy, but it's got sort of, like a hearty, proteinaceous center. It's very filling. And he just goes, so do you need me to vacate the premises, or am I good to get started on lunch?
Oh, I mean, I don't
Go
think
ahead
we
and
can.
vacate. We'll
yeah.
be really fast. I promise.
Okay. Because the bread's rising right now, so
Is
it's
there
going to be
a
longer than
timer? Grab you.
well, sort of like 15 minutes, but every loaf of bread's different, so I like to keep my eyes on it, but a couple
I will
minutes
grab
probably won't
you
change anything.
in 10 minutes.
If you get me at the 10-minute mark, I think we should be good. I'll be close by. Just yell. And then if you forget, just have someone go back and check the bread.
I don't think we know what we're checking for, so we will just grab you.
Oh, well, speak for
Well, if
yourself.
it's-
Knucklebones, I got your bread. You really don't want it to be overproofed, so I'll make sure to check it before it collapses.
He kind of squints his eyes at you, and he like goes to like point, and then he like extends his hand to you, and then it turns into like a handshake.
Oh. Give him a hearty handshake.
Yeah, in like a very like predator like kind of way.
Yeah.
And he just goes, he just like points at Enoch again and just kind of nods and leaves.
It's a real pain in the ass, guys. You don't. What are we here talking about?
It's not bread.
So, hi everyone. I have secured us passage to Conscriptus. So I wanted to talk about how we all wanted to navigate our next steps and work around this mole that we have.
I mean, still could be you.
Okay, good talk. So,
I mean, Luminar said she was looking into it. She hasn't given us any new information. So I just, putting it out there.
Master and I are working on it. It takes time for the seeds to germinate.
I'm not trying to rush anyone. I'm just trying to be cautious.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I think what we need is ideas or plans.
And a team name, still.
I think that's less important right now.
To be fair, you will have to register a team name when
Correct.
for the
Correct.
war games.
The Reclamation
wait.
Society. The
Too long.
bringers of pain and justice for the Empire. The
Of pain.
Okay.
That one's a little.
Okay, so the name doesn't really matter. You just need something. So can we maybe work out plan and then talk name after?
yeah, okay.
We'll figure that out on the ride
Yeah.
over.
Yes, I think.
On the ride.
So,
Alright.
sorry, Luminora, go ahead.
Well, we had initially talked about kind of entering under disguise, and then, maybe fighting, 1 or 2 rounds before revealing our true identity to hopefully garner some sense of momentum.
I could see that being a very good publicity move as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, who's not going to be able to talk about? Yeah, it'll be pretty
The
popular.
prodigal daughter returning at the 6th seat after she's won it.
Oh, you mean to get through the entire thing? Yeah, that's
Get through the entire thing and specifically do it as a nobody and then the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could win a lot of favor with the crowd and potentially some of the potential suitors within the city,
Mhm.
which can't hurt.
Does that mean that we all disguise ourselves?
I mean,
I think so.
Because we've met them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we'll need to do a combination of physical and magical disguise.
Hmm. You have a special blade from your house, don't you? And Charles, you have a gun from one of the fine ladies there. That might be a problem at some point, but I don't know if we can go without using those things.
I'm sorry, what's this about Charles and his gun?
Oh, is that a secret, Charles?
I mean, define secret. I wasn't really going around telling people about it, but I do have a gun that might or might not be cursed, and I
Tell
might
her where
have
it came
got
from.
it from Belladonna.
She looks at you
After,
and says, Belladonna.
yeah, one of her
Belladonna Volant.
cousins.
Oh.
Yeah. I tried to
Yeah.
warn him.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, first, I would like to say this is before I knew that I remembered that I had a wife. So I wasn't.
You have a wife?
Yeah, this is news. Yeah, I was also,
Wait, why are you bringing up your wife? How did you get the gun?
Oh, I had sex with
Yeah.
Belladonna, and then she made me sign a contract with my blood, and gave me this gun, and then I just like held my hand out and it evaporates in my hand.
Charles, I can't help but feel that I've been in this position before with you.
I don't. What are you talking about?
Nothing. She turns to you, Luminar, and says, is this going to be a problem?
This cursed gun, specifically?
In a contest against House Vorinth, is
Yes.
it possible that A, it could be used against your team, and B, is it possible that, and she like looks around and just says, that House Vorinth knows what
Yes.
we're
and
doing?
Yes. Oh. Not so sure about that last part, but
Did she give
I
you
think they
anything
would
else?
definitely recognize
I
it.
do have a notebook that I can write to talk to her in,
And a chest.
and a table
turns
thing
into a
that turns
table.
into a table that I can, work on the gun.
Okay. So multiple targets for potentially scrying.
Well, I guess I don't know. I'm not that magical.
Right,
The
but you
answer is
understood what I said.
I mean, I kind of understand what scrying is, but just like a video or something, like watching people.
Luminar, she gives you a very quick side eye and then just continues on and just says, okay, so let's move on from that and assume that that's not a problem because we can't do anything about it if it is. Is that about right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can ask them to leave the room right now. Sorry, Charles.
I mean, I'll do anything for the team.
Yeah, as tempting as that is, I don't know if there's any point at this point.
You know, I thought that you didn't hate me for a little bit, but now I'm starting to feel.
I don't. It was just a logical.
No, not
solution.
you, Mazrin.
Oh,
Mariam. Mariam.
The other end.
Yeah. Well, now that we have this time to vent our feelings, I'll say that when I bailed your team out for that 50,000 gold pieces, that did not come out of the treasury of the Spy Master, because the Spy Master would notice that sort of thing. So, if I'm honest, I haven't forgotten about that.
And
I
I
mean,
do
if you
think
want,
if
I can start making
after-
payments.
after that bailout,
That's okay.
assessment.
I just want less variables. And this is a new variable.
I mean, I'm trying to do better. You can
That's
ask
okay.
the team.
I encourage you to keep at it. But no, I don't hate you. We can please move on.
Should we
Uh-huh.
just show up and be all hidden and stuff and hope this fight goes well and we win and people are happy about us winning? Or should we try to put a finger on the scale before? Is that possible, Luminora?
You mean like cheat?
to influence the war games?
Not cheat. We're gonna have to win against people who do this for a living, but to make sure pieces are set up for if we win, things go our way.
I mean, we do this for a living.
You all might.
You're part of the group now. You're one of us. Wandering souls.
Okay.
who are you
Kicking
talking
ass.
about, Enoch? Are you talking about influencing people?
I'm talking about trying
Before-
to get, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get people that might be leaning towards rebellion or more on whatever side we're on. Sort of get their minds, throw things out there.
Prime them.
Yeah, prime the situation a little bit. That way
I mean, I
they're
feel
more
like
willing to act.
Conscriptus is already pretty primed. Isn't that the whole point of this?
I mean, I kind of agree with Luminora on this one.
We're taking advantage of a kind of, it's not volatile, but it's
Fruitful.
fruitful situation. You know, like with the whole
Okay.
Volantis and all that stuff. I feel like that's kind of priming.
I think House Lysandra is clearly would be in favor.
And then, you know, maybe Charles has some sway with House of Orange.
I mean-
You laugh, but he might. You might
Yeah.
be able to. Maybe
And-
write to Belladonna?
Well, I might advise against that.
Yeah, you know what? I want Marion side on this one.
And Luminor, if I'm not mistaken, Maelstrom seems like they would be
Yeah,
pretty for this.
I think
Ooh.
so.
Who are we against?
Honestly, maybe just Volantis at this point.
Well, and it's not about.
Well,
the-
House
we're
Vorinth
not-
is a big question mark.
I don't think the war games are like, who are we against, as much as if we win, we then have the power to sway
Mhm.
the houses.
And the influence, yeah.
I don't think we're like,
And really,
let's
in
kill
cons-
this house.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No.
And really,
And
in
to be-
Conscriptus, power is kind of like the big thing. So if you're able to say like I'm physically more capable than all of you, and I've proven it, then you have a lot of influence.
Yeah, okay, see, that I am familiar with. And if that gets us far enough, then sure.
Did Luminor, did you explain to them the concept of sword logic?
No. You can.
Should we or
I mean, sure. That's
okay? I'll go. I'll just
yeah.
do
You
it.
do it.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. He's a better sword fighter than you. I mean,
Oh no, sword logic is.
That's a good
it's
point. Yeah.
Just no, it's fine. It's harder to explain it as somebody who grew up with it. I think, because it just makes sense to me.
So as an outsider looking in, Luminar, please correct me, but the descendants of Zalatheans adhere to a creed that outsiders call sword logic, which basically means that in an argument or in determining any kind of status, if a duelist can defeat another duelist in one-on-one combat, then they are more powerful and therefore more, I don't know, righteous or correct, or their way is the best way forward. So it really is just the concept of like strength above all else. Because if the person who lost was correct, then they wouldn't have lost. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Kind of factored into the whole thing with Fisher as well, if that makes sense.
that's why you weren't killed for killing off a family member.
Sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
Hey, literally zero judgment here.
I mean, kills hell people.
What did you say?
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Okay, so
So-
sword logic, the hierarchy, sort of just by winning, will give us enough of a voice. Sort of since we
That's
beat
the
everybody.
idea. Which goes into phase 3 of the plan. Phase 1 being get into the city. Phase 2 being get through enough of the war games to get a seat at the table, which, by the way, to be clear, the way this works is the war games are simply to get Luminora nominated to the 6th seat, at which point it turns into a bracket system in which there's going to be one duelist between all of the houses, with Catharis essentially having two buy-ins.
Are you gonna have to duel against your own sister?
Maybe.
Ooh,
Fun times. Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's go blade logic it up, or whatever you guys call it.
Can you beat her?
Can I beat Celeste?
Yeah. Fair question.
You're amongst friends.
Yeah.
You can speak
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah, I can beat Celeste.
That's
I mean, maybe her
attitude.
training has changed a lot in the last 6 months, but
Don't go second guessing yourself.
I wasn't. I just felt
You're
bad
the
saying it.
eldest.
I know.
So we get Luminora in a place to hopefully not have to fight her sister, but win the whole thing. That leaves
Honestly,
us.
more likely I have to fight Volantis.
Yeah, that's what my money is on. But that brings us to phase 3, which is the aftermath. So you win, that's all great. Then it's a matter of approaching each of the houses, coming up with your plan of Conscriptus announcing itself as a sovereign city-state, essentially. and there would likely be repercussions from the FETC, which the houses would then have to prepare for. There's also, I'm sorry to say, the very real possibility of infighting between the houses themselves, as sword logic may not necessarily take us all the way there.
And we might lose the games.
Correct, which doesn't necessarily mean that we must give up on phase 3.
True. I mean, oh, okay. Please forgive me, because this is all new to me. But do we have to win the games to get the seat at the table, or do we have to like get to a certain round?
You get to a certain, that's what you're all here for. You get to a certain point to get Luminora a seat at the table, and then it turns into a tournament just between the heiresses of the houses.
Okay, so
But you can just call them heirs because there's never a male heir of the house.
Luminora?
Sorry.
okay,
I elbow her
So-
a little bit.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. More sense. Got it. Okay, so we don't even have to win the whole thing. She doesn't have to win the duels.
There's a knock on the door. It opens. Knucklebones comes in. He's like, sorry, I'm not listening, but I didn't hear anything. It's been about 13 minutes. What about my bread?
Shit.
It's fine. It's fine. It's my responsibility. It's not yours. And he just like walks past you.
But
Okay,
if she
then
does
we'll
win the
do
duels, it will be a lot better position.
Correct. Because otherwise we'd essentially be leaving all this up to whoever the victor is. And that would be especially difficult if the victor is someone that is not favorable towards this cause. So if we win, then it's our hand on the wheel.
Cool.
Would Luminora know who is going to be in this round of the games? Or this?
Yeah. So basically the eldest of each house, with both Cathari sisters.
Who would it be for Vorinth? Is that Belladonna?
What's funny is with Vorinth, no one actually knows.
Yeah, okay. That's what I
Because
thought.
the who's who gets like really blurred, where like House Vorinth is so secretive that like Belladonna wasn't introduced as like a daughter of Vorinth until she was like 20. So they sort of just like pop up and don't necessarily follow a lot of the rules that they typically do.
Pretty cool.
Idea. The sword logic and all that seems like power makes decisions there, and there's, well, never mind. I was gonna say there's not a lot of subtlety, but you guys are all backhanded jabs and all that. I don't know. What's the likelihood of them just listening to us at all if we don't have anything to show or to back up our plan? If it's like, hey, let's separate from the FETC, and the FETC is still, I'm sorry, the founder or whatever is still consuming the whole Mordun.
Are they going to consume Mordun without the tip of the spear?
I would argue that I think most houses would agree that the sacred machine would be left floundering without conscriptus. And I would argue that most of the houses, I would actually argue that all of the houses would believe that conscriptus is potentially the only functional part of the FETC.
Okay, so that it would be enough to just.
I think that the difference in competence between the Black Armada and the Steel Covenant is laughable. No offense to anyone here.
I was kind of forced into it after they wiped my memory.
Okay,
So
good. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there are concerns to be had about the sixth house, but I think it's very feasible. It's just a matter of, do the houses believe that that is the best way forward for them?
Mazarin, are you sixth house? That's not related to conscriptus, is it? You're not like a secret sixth house of conscriptus?
No.
Okay.
No, we answer to the spy master.
Oh, okay.
Answer.
there's first of all, too many houses. I'm very confused.
There's only 5.
To be
Or
clear, I think
six.
the sixth house is, I think, a play on the 5 houses of conscriptus, in that I think it was developed before the Steel Covenant. So it was kind of this like tongue-in-cheek, like the 6th arm of what was then their navy, which became naval intelligence.
That's a good name.
Sixth house is a good name, yeah.
So historically, yes, but it's completely separate.
Can I try to sneak off for just like a little bit to peek in on Knucklebones?
Yeah.
Just to see if he's listening, or because he's not completely ruled out as the mole yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get me a stealth check.
Come on, above 10. All right.
How many check on bread? Is it overproofed?
3 minutes is probably good. 21.
You see that he's sitting there, like, his back's to you, but you see him like sitting on the floor, like leaning forward, just like watching his bread completely overproofed. And he isn't even bothering to try to save it. He's just like watching it.
That's
He's
devastating.
warning.
Yeah, take a
Yeah.
couple steps back. Fuck. Bread's fucked, guys. Sorry.
Way to go, Enoch.
Continue.
Mazarin is my favorite character.
So savage.
Just getting a point of inspiration. With that, Marion just says, so does that sound like the beginnings of a plan, at least? Because we do not really have much time. I will be thinking about all of our diplomatic angles, but a lot of this is going to be a moving picture. Also, while we're there, and maybe this is more for Luminor than anyone else, getting any insight as to which way the families are leaning is going to be extremely helpful.
I
If
thought
there's
we were being
anyone-
secret the whole time.
Well, I suppose this would be after the theoretical reveal.
Which is when? After we get her in the seat?
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, I
Also-
didn't mean to interrupt.
Luminor, if there is anyone within the houses that you do trust who you feel you could enlist in this cause to try to get this information, that might also be a worthwhile endeavor. There's also time in between the events, as this is going to be, as I understand, a little over a week-long event. And potentially that might give us some time to earn some favor with some houses. Somehow, I'm not sure. But that's also an angle as well.
Perfect.
Cool.
So, I think I'm going to be sick. And Marion just walks outside, like storms off.
I don't know why she's freaking out. She's not doing the fighting. Gonna be hidden in the shadows.
He likes to plan things. And there's a lot of variables right now.
Maybe we could go with the nomads. And we could all have masks like
A group
yeah,
of
Enoch, yeah.
Ashborn come to
Come to battle. Get their seats.
Ancestral home. True outside. I don't know. Well, there's probably only been one Ashborn that's ever been there, so kind of showing our hand.
They don't know. You had a mask on the whole time.
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't. Specifically, that's when I took my mask off.
Oh fuck, that's right.
And that's when I.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm not opposed to the nomads.
I think it's a pretty cool name.
Don't like it.
Why not?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem that cool. I'll be honest.
Unbefitting of a woman of Bridgerton.
I mean, like it or not, we've been kind of nomading around for a while now.
How about the permutationals?
Dude, I can't even spell that.
I kind of want to slip in that we're secretly dissidents, you know?
How do you secretly slip that in?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm working on it.
Well,
No, everybody go to sleep and think of it and write it down.
So with that,
Yeah, I need to take a long rest.
yeah, well, Alex, your DM needs to take a long rest because I work at 5. So with that, your group kind of considers final etchings of the plan, and and we will see how everything shakes out next week.
Interesting.